He gets off work and then he pours himself a beer and then he clicks a button that does miraculous things that he doesn't know how any of it works. And if he went back in time to tell everyone about the fantastic future, he would be useless because he doesn't actually know how to do any of the cool things that the modern world does. But that's not important. Welcome. We're going to watch some hockey. Welcome. We're going to watch some hockey. I'm looking forward to this game a lot. I've been looking forward to it all day. I am going to mute my own stream for a second. There you go. What up, Hunter? How you doing, brother? I don't need the Spanish broadcast because I won't know what it's saying. There's no way. There's no way that ESPN only has it in Spanish, right? That would be really frustrating if that was true. What up, Click? Let's discuss how we can get Nemec. All right, let's discuss it. We will discuss it. Hold off for a second. Let's get everyone hitting their stride. Let me take a couple sips of the beer and figure that out. I do need to figure out if Puckpedia has their site updated to project next year's cap against $104 million cap. So these numbers actually make sense or not, Let's go Red Sox. My God, they could use a little positivity. I'll tell you what. Okay, this says it's watchable. Spanish, like, fuck, I'll do it. It might be dope as hell. Right? It is at BK. This is a really scary game for the Wild. No one's surprised. I don't care how good of a team you are. No one's surprised that the Avalanche are doing what they're doing, right? They're just so unbelievably stacked. And through good management. I think they're doing a great job. That's not like, oh, they lucked into or they tanked forever. They were bad for a while. Don't get me wrong. Their tanking years were egregious, but they've really stayed competitive over the past few years by some shrewd moves. Boston Red Sox 49, another donation to Fuck Cancer. We love that. Requesting high quality Larry, Bella, and Tiffany. Velma, but close. Not Bella, Velma. Really close. I do appreciate that. Tiffany, that's totally up to her, but maybe Larry. We'll get Larry in front of here at some point. Red Sox gained half a game on 2 divisional rivals tonight. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Little Chips. What's up, dude? Jay Goulet. How's it going? There's no way that ESPN only has the Espanol version. There's no way. I don't know how these television companies get away with this stuff. I do. Money is how they do it. But they can make promises like, see all hockey games here, and then they don't have them, and there's some sort of fucking bullshit loophole they're using. I'm a Sabres fan and wanted the Habs. I made the wrong decision. Good Lord, did they look bad? Jack? Thelma. Velma with a V. You're so close. Velma with a V. I love that. Apparently, I have a little lisp. Jack, as a Sabres fan, so first of all, GG's. Second of all, a lot of excitement about your team. Now, your team, you're going to get a lot of offseason chatter that the Bruins are also going to get about, like, being a paper tiger, because analytically, you guys were also in a similar category as the Bruins, where a lot of your wins were, Anyway, they're going to scrutinize you. I'm just warning you now. Wanting the Habs, there was no winning that situation anyway. You were in a tough battle in the second round, but I had said it's been months now that I've been talking about this Habs team. Like, I feel you, dude. I was terrified of this Habs team. In my bracket, I have them going to the finals. This Habs team is terrifying, and they're going to be terrifying for the next 10 years minimum. I feel you, dog. All I'm saying is I feel you. I feel you. And also, Tage Thompson, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up, play some hockey, and stop. It's ridiculous. Not paying for subscriptions, but you bet I'm here with you. What's up, man? How's it going, Doyle? I am also alive, little chips. I don't make it. See, this is. I have not taken the time to actually stream properly once. Didn't make the thumbnail. No idea what it is. Is it me gawking? Like, I have no idea what it is. But thank you. I'm glad it's hilarious. Velma, that's right. This is my baby girl, Velma. The reason her name is Velma is when she was little, her head was much bigger than her body. You know, the weird puppy stage. Sometimes they have some growth spurts. And she walked around bonking into everything like Velma does when she loses her glasses. We just said it once and it stuck. All right, Lori at first, and any prospect not named Hagens for Nemec, get it done. Which first? This now be specific. Which first? I would the value of the first we have right now. I would say Toronto's 2028 is probably the most valuable because I think people are really curious if they can write this train. You kind of have to wait to your own detriment. You kind of have to wait till you hear Austin Matthews' decision because if Austin Matthews is not coming back, all of a sudden you're like, all right, that first is worth more than we thought it was. But I would put that there, and then you probably have a couple of the Bruins picks, and the Panthers are down there. So what does the Oilers trade package look like for Gustafson? The problem that you have with the Oilers is, I'm pretty sure they're capped the fuck out. So they got to move money out. They have a ton of UFAs next year, which doesn't hurt them because their team depth is ass. Wow. So maybe the cap isn't that much of a concern. I mean, spending $20 million a year on your top two defensemen is a little rough. I'll give you that. Ekholm's extension hasn't even hit yet. Oh, but neither is Wallman's. And that counteracts each other there. Fuck. What do they have to give up? You know? They don't have any prospects that you're like blown away by, right? What is their pick situation right now? Yeah, they don't have their first two picks for this year or next. I mean, their first round pick this year or next. Although it looks like there's a conditional on that next year's. Like, I don't know. How much are you selling the future? Because you can't trade. Shit. Hold on. Where is. You only have one first you can reasonably use, which is the one that's 3 years from now, 2028, 2029. Shit. Yeah. The way this is phrased is weird because it's the year ending with it. Yeah. You'd have to. So here's the point I'm trying to make. I realize there's a rambling right now. But because they only have their 2028 and 2029 firsts, you can't trade the 2029 one, which, first of all, it's way down the road. It was crazy. But you are very positive that you don't have McDavid in 2029 if this doesn't work. And so if you trade that pick for help and it doesn't work, then you just gave up a first-round pick in which your team is getting demonstrably worse that year. That's scary. I don't know. Like, how can the Oilers put anything together for a goalie like that? You are straight up serving face in the thumbnail? Hell yeah! We like that. Give me that Toronto unprotected 28. See, I think that's what it would take. I'm glad you said that because I think Nemec is a high value, potentially, prospect. They would take your best first rounder. I'm pretty comfortable with that, actually. Let me look at it again. Lori, the 2028, and any prospect not named Hagens. Any prospect? I don't know. For Nemec is an unproven commodity, and there's a reason that the Devils are frustrated, although there's a lot of talk about whether they're right or not. Working on my revive of the Nordiques and the Chell. Hell yeah, dude. Love the Nordiques. Love those jerseys. I almost wore one tonight, but it still is supportive of the Avalanche. So this is definitely the Does ESPN not have an English version of this game? Yes, they do. I'm just a big, dumb, freaking idiot. Holy shit. It's right next to it. I'm very dumb. If we lose close games, wouldn't feel so bad, but 5-1 and 6-2 is terrible defense. Defense disappeared overnight. I would argue a few things disappeared overnight. Definitely the defense. your ability to get into center ice is, I mean, Montreal's snuffing it out. You guys are so one and done in the offensive zone. Not as badly as the Bruins were against you, for that matter, because we were truly, I mean, quite literally one and done every time down the ice. You guys aren't in that situation, but Montreal has been outmaneuvering you guys badly, and you can't get to the high danger areas as easily. They are obviously, like you pointed out, they're right in your kitchen all night too, all night. I do like that Benson's still making an impact. I think he's still doing his job. And remember, it's 2-1 in the series. And some of the Sabres comments, every fan base has this. I'm not jumping all over you guys, but after that game, the series is over. It's 2-1. We have seen 6-0 shutouts by a team and then watch them get wiped over the next 4 games. You know, I'm pretty sure the Bruins against Tampa back in like 2018, I don't quote me on the year, won like 5-1 in game 1, and then they lost the next 4. You know, like it's the playoffs. Every game is different. Olin Zellweger has some crazy speed. I like him a lot. Another guy with some question marks, but I do like him a lot. I love defensemen too, just in general. Savoie, Hudson, and Howard. And like, how are those aren't blue chippers, you know? Like, you're not. Howard was a lot of attention to that trade that was made, but it's not like he's lighting the place up. If Ovi retires, I don't want Tom Wilson. He'll age well with his speed. Tom Wilson is that perfect line to draw of like piece of shit, but you'd want him on your team kind of guy. I obviously have a hard time doing that. Trade Swayman, Pasta, and McAvoy, all bums. What's up, Court? How you doing, you son of a bitch? I have a question. Is James Hagen's untouchable in your opinion? Like, if you could get Robert Thomas or any legit long-term core player, but you had to give up Hagen's, would you? I would give up Hagen's for Thomas. Yeah. That's a pretty easy decision for me. Because what are you hoping Hagen's turns into? Right? If Hagen's turns into Thomas, you're ecstatic. And you just make sure you're in the same timeline as Pasa. That's a trade I make all day. I do Hagen's, I do Lorai, and I do a first, and I go for Thomas. Easy peasy. And I realize that there's probably past videos of me bouncing all over the place. I'm still trying to set my bar, but that's a pretty easy one for me. Now, the first would have to be like a Bruin. I'm not giving up Toronto's pick for that, you know? And I'm not giving up Florida's pick for that. I'm giving up one of the Bruins ones with the assumption is we're a pretty good team. That's where I'm kind of drawing the line. Sway and Charlie for Brady. put a gun in my mouth. Go put on the Canucks jersey you have. I do have one. People say to blow it up is just brain dead. Yeah, no, Court's making jokes, but yeah. There's a lot of question marks about next year. We'll get to that, though. We will. Oh, wait, Brew, was he talking to you about you have some Canucks jerseys? Who do you have on the back of yours? I got a Luongo. If we could sneak a win tomorrow night, feel a bit better. But if we lose, it'll be over in our building at that. It's 3-1 would be. I just don't know how you beat Montreal 3 games in a row right now. Not with the way they're playing right now. Especially with the way Dobich is playing. Because even when you have had your chances, Dobich has been right there. Which is terrifying because Fowler is supposed to be like the next guy in net. And here's Dobich. Which means, you know who could go get McDavid? You know who could go get Matthews? That's a legitimate scenario for the Montreal Canadiens. What a terrifying franchise they are right now. Sucks, honestly. Oh, that makes sense. Court, I'm sorry. That makes a lot of sense. I I don't have the Spanish broadcast up, but I got confused for a minute there. I never listened to the national anthem, which I guess I should in this one, but years ago, I listened to the national anthem before a game. And typically my schedule had dictated that I was barely making it on time to watch the games. So I was skipping the national anthem. But the Bruins got just fucking dummied, just absolutely annihilated. And then the following game, I skipped the national anthem and I forget why. I just muted it because I was in the middle of a conversation or something. The Bruins won, and so now I have this, weird superstition that if I listen to the national anthem, the Bruins are going to get their asses kicked. So I just take it. I just mute it every time, and it's weird. I do this with other games too. I guess I don't really have to. The Alaskan Frog, greetings, greetings from South Carolina, way down here. We got the mustard cat rocking. Ooh, that's kind of a nice little visual there. They're rolling and Linus doing all he can. Just like, yeah, I don't have a lot of anger towards Lion on these, because Lion really is. Has he been perfect? No, but what's he supposed to do with a lot of this stuff? I just want the winner to crush Carolina in the end. It would be hilarious. The problem is if the winner is Montreal and they crush Carolina, you're dealing with the Habs in the finals again. I need to say, I love y'all, but Bruins needs to do better with their takes. They want all Bruins players to be straight up murderers who skate 5 miles up hour. So many old heads, man. Wait, which I actually maybe don't call anyone out, but if that's about the Tom Wilson one, Tom Wilson is still an exceptionally good hockey player. But I do agree. I mean, every fan base, you're going to do this, though. You go to Reddit under any fan base, and you see some of the craziest shit. Alaskan Frog, I am. It's funny. My wife just talked to me like, "What's the next big international trip you want to do?" Which we're probably a couple of years from. But I said Alaska, joking, obviously, about still the same nation, but Alaska's basically like an international trip from where we're at, and I really, really want to go to Alaska. Where in South Carolina are you? Charleston. Oh yeah, you're a little ways away from us. Well, Clemson's a little ways away from us, a few hours, but I'm over on the coast in Charleston. All in on the Habs. I'm French and all. Are you genuinely like rooting for the Habs? Game one looks so promising to power play goals, and we're able to. Dude, that power play. There's no excuse. You got Darlene quarterback in that thing. You got Tage. You got Talk. Where are the goals? There's no excuse. And look, again, kettle and pot. But I have no idea. You guys should have a better power play than the Bruins by a lot. That's probably the biggest problem the Avalanche have is we're so fast and we keep going off sides. I am now, you piece of shit. States in America are like countries in Europe. Oh, I know. I know that well. It is very funny traveling around Europe and talking to people that live there, and they're like a 30-minute drive. Oh my God. You're like, 30-minute drive is just for me to get, into town. Charleston. The type of ball I'm so frustrated with half the Bruins fans take, like Trey Pasta and Sway and shit. Oh yeah, dude. That's every offseason. Every offseason. It's tough. And of course, the sports radio around here is bad. I used to think that portion of the fan base was smaller than it is, and there's just a vocal minority. But man, it seems like a lot of people support that stuff. They are exciting to watch. This is my biggest problem with Montreal is I really like watching them. I really like watching them play, just as a hockey fan. I just hate them. The thing is, all you guys can root for the Habs, but it was less than 3 years before you're like, fuck this team. I hate them so much. Sabres are just a bit too ratty for me. Really? As a college fan, I'd love to see Caulfield get balls deep in the playoffs. Okay, that's valid. To be honest, Kane's dummy the Sabres. Dummy feels like a stretch for either Montreal or I just think they're fast and they're good. I don't find the Sabres to be distinctly ratty. Like they do certainly have some rats and they're built well for that. But the rattiest Bruins teams, the rattiest Panthers teams, the rattiest Flyers teams, like those are ones that really stand out. I think the Sabres team is actually mostly clean. For playoff standards, at least. I mean, the Wild get an early chance here. If they can build off that Game 3 win. Montreal is a vibe right now. A lot of people root against the Sabres. I see that. I could drive 6 hours and cover less than a third of Alaska. That's absurd. Your state's a ridiculous meme, and I love it. That's good defense. Benson's a rat. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna like. I'm not saying that they're all clean. Benson's a very good rat too. Man, is he good at what he does. Take runs at goalies. I If a playoff team is not trying to get into the grill of a goalie and make some contact, I don't. They're not trying to win. The Bruins needed a lot more of that in that series. I'm not saying they're trying to injure the guy, but you need to get that guy uncomfortable at that level. As a Panthers fan, the Habs own us. See, I love hearing that kind of stuff because I never like as a Bruins fan, the Panthers. What am I supposed to say? Right over the past few years, the Panthers own the Bruins. There's a few teams that I can sit there and be like, God, this team always beats us. I love hearing from other fan bases being like, that team always beats us for some reason. Like a Panthers fan in 2026 should not be saying any team really owns you, but it seems that they probably, beat you in the regular season a bunch of times. I'm guessing. Hesitant to do the big trade for Anderson, but I definitely wouldn't mind trading one of our fourths to sign him before free agency, kind of like the Gensel deal with Carolina. That's the kind of clever thinking you need. That's what Swanee. That's what Swanee needs to do. Sweeney needs to certainly explore that kind of market. I doubt he's leaving Vegas, honestly. They'll find a way to re-sign him. They always do. McKinnon behind the net, I might be the most terrifying. That was almost so good. He might be just the most terrifying player behind the net, other than McDavid. Do you have any predictions for this one? I've got the Avalanche winning 4-1. Buffalo's fallen in love with Benson. Hopefully he is here for a long time. He fucking should be. I mean, how often a guy gets into the playoffs for the first time would be my guess with Benson because he's only been a Sabres so far as I'm aware. I might be very wrong about that. I haven't kept track of that well enough. But the guy performs in the playoffs in the exact manner you want, right? He doesn't get called for a bunch of egregious shit. He usually picks his spots well. And he's a under your skin kind of guy. And he's scoring? Yeah. Tuck is also just a player I'm not a fan of. Really? Oh, he reminds me a lot of the way McAvoy plays. Like, he's aggressive and physical. I don't think like McAvoy has some dirty moments, and I'm sure Tuck does too, but they play a very similar physical style to me. Same in Montana. Can drive 5 or 6 west to east and not leave the state. Let's go, Nate Doc. There you go. Sticks and Pucks. Great to see it, by the way. Sticks and Pucks has a YouTube channel. It's good stuff. I feel like while the Bruins were outskilled by the Sabres, they also lacked a lot of the P and V. Yeah. I think the Sabres, because they got to utilize their speed to make an impact. The Bruins weren't on time for the forecheck. They weren't fast enough to retrieve pucks on the walls in their defensive zone. Like, you can be physical, but if you can't catch anyone, you never really get to show it off. And after the whistle stuff, by midway through the series, the rest were like, we're not doing the after whistle stuff anymore. And you can't count on that to win a series. You have to still play the game. This is why it really worried me when Sweeney was really like into that and just felt like he was building the team the wrong way. I'm glad to hear them say they need speed because boy, do they. Do you think Benson has a Marshy shrine in his closet? He should. He absolutely should. If he could turn into like prime Marchand, holy shit, do they have a player over there? I mean, they're staying in front of him pretty well. You kind of expected more of a track meet early. Hold on. Blackwood's in net? Am I dumb? I wasn't keeping track of the series that closely, but did they take Wedgwood out or did Wedgwood get hurt? Neat thing about Alaska is that it allows you to pick any team for any sport. We don't have the population to support franchises of any major sport. Is that a thing? Like, what are your teams? And how did you come about that? I guess that's kind of a lot to type, though. Pretty fun to see the Sabres come back to earth. Yeah, I get that. My goal for the development of Zellers would be try and get him to be the next Zach Benson. Zellers does have a little bit of a shit heel in him. But he needs to be a scoring player in the NHL. His intangibles. His other aspects are not good enough, I don't think, unless he's putting the puck in the net. I don't mean like a prolific scorer, but he has to be like your third line trigger guy, middle six scoring forward kind of guy. Yeah, Sabres truly did outskate the Bruins by a huge margin, embarrassingly so. Wow, I haven't beat this since February 2024. That's crazy. I'll tell you one thing, man. The Panthers notorious, at least against the Bruins, and I think in the playoff runs for scoring late, tying games up. You know, the big goal, right? The one you needed. Really good. You don't win a couple cups without that. Seeing this season, and there's all sorts of reasons for it, but seeing this season when the Panthers over and over, you're watching games where they blew leads, they gave up the bad goal at the end, things like that. I'm sitting there yeah, fuck you guys. It's about time you got felt that. Uh, they pulled him last game and they didn't put it back in. That's still surprising to me because Wedgwood was really, really good for them through the season. I mean, obviously, I think he led the league in save percentage. Oh no, Nate! Oh, I thought he was going to about to put Hughes in a spin cycle. Bad play with Taves. Dad was a Bruins fan because of Bobby Orr. Hell yeah, we love that. Who do you think will stay or go over the summer LSI? Hello, Tiffany. Uh, stay or go. I'd be surprised if they managed to sign him to a deal that made sense for the Bruins. I think he's looking for one last big payday, and damn it, doesn't he deserve it? Let's see here. Oh, I forgot Eriksson Ek is still out. That sucks. I would say I think Reichel stays at a deal because Sturm loves him, but I really couldn't care less about that. And then Lori, I think, is likely gone. Oh, that was so close. This wouldn't just be a regular 1-0 lead either. Like this is you're gonna go up 3 games to 1-1-0 lead. Like that adds a different level of pressure. But yeah, Lori, Arvidsson, right? Like there's not that many decisions to really make. Peak, I'm begging them not to resign. Uh, they just need more speed on the back end. Want Carolina to win it because they're technically the local team here. Yeah, I got no issues with Carolina winning it. Obviously, that goes against a lot of a lot of people in my life, but oh, that's still a save. Wall State turns his legs. That's a smart save. Many of my uncles and cousins like Seattle for sports because they are so close. That makes sense to me. South season truly feels do or die, like we're on the edge. To be fair, the last couple have felt like that too. Although I guess last year it felt more of like, what can we do to set ourselves up for 2 years for this off season? Which damn, they did that really well. Outside of buying in and free agency, where do you get the dynamic speed and skill? Oh, not through free agency. No. You don't. It's a terrible free agency class. You maybe some offer sheet stuff, like Robertson or someone like that, but there's not that available in free agency. And we're used to this, right? Every year, the media pundits try to tell us, well, free agency is going to be huge and all this stuff. There's nothing. There's nothing out there. There's a couple of guys, and there's some really useful depth pieces, but that's not really what the Bruins need. The Bruins need some higher end talent, and you get that either via trade and giving up some real assets or through the draft. And the Bruins aren't going to get that through the draft. Because once again, we're picking in the 20s. Just like that. We had that 1 year, we got 7th. Then we're right back to the 20s. Pour one out for Vancouver, by the way, who has never had a first overall pick and is picking 3rd. Best part about watching Benson is he's always smiling. Yeah. He's a rat through and through. Did you watch the Amazon NHL show Face Off Inside the NHL? No, not all. I think I got bits and pieces, but gotta tell Elias he either gives us a list of teams or he goes to LTIR graveyard. Yes, but list of teams doesn't matter. Who's trading for Elias Lindholm? There's an argument that he's not even a third line center anymore. Like truly. And they're talking about the back problems and stuff, and you truly cannot. I know we talk about that, but you can't force a guy to retire, and that's a very risky move because that gets out, and it's a different kind of punishment from the league. Uh, there's guys who would willingly do it late in their careers who are probably in pain at a certain point of the season. And it was an easier decision, but I certainly wouldn't expect us to be able to do that with Lindholm, who has 6 years left on his deal or whatever it is. Oh God, that's such a bad contract. And they knew he was having back pain before we signed him. Zaka has left me wanting more yet again in the playoffs. I'm not worried about Zaka. Zaka is an excellent utility guy, plays the game the right way, very useful. Streaky scorer, of course, but that's, I mean, you don't expect him to be anything more than that at 4 million a year, whatever he is. Yeah, I'm not worried about Zaka. He's playing higher than he should. That's really what it is. Middlestat's playing higher than he should. Minton and Husnudinov to end the season playing higher than they should, right? It's I like Zaka. I think it's more of an expectation thing at the end of the day. If Mini wins it all, I'll be thrilled for my buddies. Hell yeah, dude. Minnesota's also just an easy one to root for, from my perspective. Little chips. Name a big fish in free agency. Other than Radish, I don't know if you'd even consider him, but name a big fish because I'm curious what your definition there is. I'm not trying to put you in the spot. We've been talking a lot over the past couple of streams, so you're just my buddy. We're chat. Really like Lorai, but I feel like he's truly not being allowed to play his game because he makes mistakes. There's an argument, but in the playoffs, he was truly unplayable. He started freezing with the puck. And there are some exit interview things about maybe expectations weren't being set very well, and there was some frustrations with the coaching, but the coaching also deserves a little bit of grace here as he's a rookie coach trying to figure things out as well. So definitely a difficult situation there. Lorai was unplayable. He looked good in the first game, most of the second game, and then just started hesitating and freaking out. And he's not fast. He's one of the slowest guys on the ice every night he plays. Conflicted on wanting to get players to help Bostok and wanting to help the prospects cook. You are going to get your wish, I think, in both senses, because they're gonna go try to get Pasternak help. And Hagens, Minton, Husnudinov, Patra, Brunet, Lot Smells, all should have a very realistic shot next year of spending time in the NHL. Um, and I don't think the Bruins have a choice there. A lot of these guys are signed next year. There's not a lot falling off the books, so you can't just start pouring guys in. You're looking for one or two impact guys. So probably sign 3 or 4, right? But you're looking for one or two impact guys, whether through trade or free agency, which again is tough. Oh, and that's what you're saying. I'm talking more about trades. Yeah. So you're looking for those one or two game changers there. Game changers. But they're going to have to let Hagens cook. They're going to have to let Minton take responsibilities. Same with Husnudinov. And Husnudinov will be 24 next year, so a little different level of prospect. But don't be stressed about it now. They're going to have to rely on those guys. Patra's going to get called up at some point, right? Probably 4C, which I can't really argue above that anymore because his season was way too much of a roller coaster. I feel like the Sabres need a more veteran presence on the defensive side. Yeah, I could see that. Power and Dahlin, Samuelson. I'm leaving out a big one there for some reason. I just named your left side and didn't touch the right side. Either way, though, but I think I agree with that. They have it in their forward grouping, but I want Hagens with Pasta or Geeky next year. I would assume he has a chance to push Elias down, and him and Minton are rocking the top 6. We'll see how camp goes, but and that's assuming no trades get made for a top 6 center. But they saw what Elias was. He's not a top 6 guy. The Athletic had Ryan Lynn going at pick 22. That's the type of defenseman you trade up for. Little guy Gross cannot apply to him. I feel like he got brought up last time too. Maybe by you. I'm really curious to see how they handle this draft, but defenseman is certainly a need, but yeah, best player available, more years than most for this one. You could somebody everywhere. The Bees need a new coach. Stern has earned a right for another year. He made plenty of mistakes. I got frustrations out the ass, but it's a rookie coach and the team overperformed. Can't really argue with that. That actually, I think a double minor is right. It looks like, you know, I think a double minor might be right for that. That's right under the eye. This is huge. 4 minutes. Oh, good clear early. How are we going to help Boston get an actual 1C without getting rid of Hagens or Dean or something? Oh, no. To get a legitimate 1C, Hagens is gone. Yeah, absolutely. I have no idea how else to do it, right? Like, that's just by unless Matthews says like I want to go play for Boston because he has a no movement clause and can kind of force his way there. Even then, right? I don't see it. Jesus. Minnesota has already killed off 40 seconds of their own power play. This is on them so far. This is poor puck management. The beautiful people. The beautiful people. Banana. Oh, oh, there was such an opportunity there. Oh, ah! And then it goes over the. You can't let that puck bounce over. By the way, most embarrassing thing ever. Any of you who have played defense in hockey, when it jumps over your stick on a power play, I didn't see a lot of power play time. I'll tell you that much. But even on a 5-on-5, it jumps over your stick on the blue line. You feel like the biggest asshole ever. Sorry to bring that topic up. No, brother, it's all good fun. All good conversation. It's gonna be tough. Sweeney has a hell of a job in front of him. He is there. Yurov, he is skating down the top of the slot. Hit him with that. Yurov, dude, what are we doing here? He's move in, Quinn. It's killing me. Utilize the top of the fucking slot. Why aren't they utilizing the top of the slot? Behind the net, in the office. You had four Avalanche players, two on each side with a passing lane up Main Street. Quinn doesn't skate in. Quinn skates in. Tarasenko behind the net goes, oh, and whips it up the center of the slot. I don't understand that. I'm not gonna argue with his Faber, not Quinn. Sorry. I'm not gonna argue with Faber not knowing hockey. He knows hockey better than I did. I'm just surprised that like that's an insane lack of movement. Faber in. Great job. Never mind. Fuck me. uh, well, Jack Eye could be a good target for the Sabres. I mean, it's not exactly the veteran presence, right? He's what, 26? How old is Jack Eye? It's Urov who gets a tip. The two guys I'm yelling at. Beautiful. That's so funny. Ty Anderson had mentioned on his Sports Hub Underground, the only guy worth listening to on Sports Hub, which I still don't listen. Scouts are giving Cooper Simpson some crazy praise about his potential. We'll be interested to see how he does it. Yeah, North Dakota with Zellers next year. It's tough because the year you're jumping, we talked about Simpson last year, where especially after development camp, and I was like, I see what they're talking about the skating though. The skating is rough, but if he's made bounds, then he should tear up North Dakota as a freshman. He really, or the NCAA, I should say, as a freshman. Um, but it's so like the projection between the NCAA has become a damn good league, a damn good league. So that jump from Shit, what league was he in? The USHL? Either way, that jump into the NCAA, that's a big one. We'll see. That's why Zeller's season was so impressive. And remember, Zeller's the questions about him going into college was, is his skating good enough? Can he create well enough? Cooper Simpson, I thought, didn't have the ability to create space initially. And then after watching the dev camp and after watching a little bit of his season, that's a good rebound control. Uh, it became apparent that his hands are just filthy. Like the guy can deke through you, which is as much as I said after development camp, but really, really great hands. It's the skating, it's the burst, that speed. It's a tough thing to judge for the next level. Now, see, Gudas for Buffalo, that makes a lot of sense. Truba, I think, as well, but Gudas for sure. Ty Anderson's great. Ty Anderson's really great. Am I crazy for thinking the Bruins should trade out of the first? I don't think it's crazy. I think if there's a team that says, I value your 22nd overall pick, I mean, but what we're looking for back is a true top 6 guy. You preferably a guy that you can put on Pasta's line, so you'll be like, we're getting you help. Do you think we aren't going to get that 1C and just going to have to write out long game with the prospects? I think that's likely. I think it's fairly, because when's the last time you saw 1C actually change teams before he was basically past 1C level, right? They don't move. There's certain guys that just don't move. In a true franchise 1C, don't move. Yeah, 26 for Jack Guy. Yeah. McCarr is a UFA, but he ain't leaving. He's walking in, he's saying, I want 16.2. And they're going, okay, sure. Just writing the check and off he goes. Would you move 2 first, Mitten and Lohrei for Robert Thomas? This is what we're talking about. This is a really good trade idea because it makes me upset. And if I'm happy, it means you probably presented a trade that's a little too light. 2 firsts. If I'm giving 2 firsts, Mitten and Lohrei for Robert Thomas, they're getting this year's first from the Bruins, and they are getting the Panthers first or another Bruins first. They are not getting the Toronto pick. That's too much for me to give up with the Toronto pick. And again, the Toronto pick might suck, but right now, while we're not sure where Matthews is going to end up, we're not sure if the goaltending is going to recover back there, their aging decor, we're not sure if they're going to bounce back. I'm not moving off that pick unless there's something that I'm truly valuing. And if that's the case, I'm not also giving you Mitten, So if the 2 firsts are Boston and Panthers, fine. Yes, I'm doing it. That's going to hurt like a son of a bitch, though. I also have a hard time seeing them ask for a package that is not built around Hagens, if I'm going to be honest. Obviously, Hagen's far more valuable than Mitten, which is funny because Mitten has already proved that he's at least a good 3C in the league. Yeah, USHL for young. Yeah. For Simpson. 2030. 2030. You heard it here first, folks. Doyle Alexander, 1834. Bruins will win the cup in 2030. I'll take that. If I'm alive. Feel bad for Pasta Man. I have such a non-realistic emotional connection to wanting to see him win a cup, bro. I get it. I feel you, man. It is tough. It's tough like that for all these guys. I mean, look around the league. There's so many older vets. We just go, hey, look at Thornton, man. That sucks. Whole career, never got one. Played for teams that got one. Never got one himself. Damn, just sucks. I don't know if the Sabres have enough cap for Tuck and Benson. Rather have Benson to wing for Thompson. Wait, hold on. My brain broke there. And there's a battle behind the net. I'm a little locked into it. That's a great board win. That's gotta hurt. Okay. I don't know if the Sabres have enough cap for Tuck and Benson. Rather have Benson to wing for Thompson. Rather have Benson to be on Tage Thompson's wing than keeping Tuck. Got it. That's a bold claim. I understand that the age is a huge factor here because Benson's what, 22, 20, 20. He's 20. Fuck. He plays a really mature game in the playoffs for a 20-year-old. Shit, you might be right, dude. You might be right. The cap situation is tough over there. I feel like there's guys you can move off of, right? McLeod makes $5 million a year. I like him a lot. I love watching McLeod play, but that feels like a lot. Dahlin's worth the money. Power isn't quite worth the money yet, but he is a great player, or a really, really good player. Yeah, you guys also spend a lot on your defense. Wow. And you're definitely not. You also have Kesselring down there. You guys are actually going to lose a lot on the backside. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, it goes onto the stick. I didn't rag on Faber enough for him to bury that one too, you know? Alex Line is making 1.5. That's crazy. I think you have to get rid of Greenway. What are your thoughts on that? You'd find a taker for Greenway, I think. He's an effective middle bottom six guy. Yeah, he's going to be a problem. Benson's going to be a problem. The idea of McDavid not winning a cup is low-key funny. He would be, by far, the best player to ever play in the NHL and not win a cup. It wouldn't even be sort of close if that came to fruition. I actually can't even think of like anyone who comes into the category. Imagine how different the Bruins turn out if they never trade Joe. It's, dude, we could be on year 20 of not making the playoffs. We could be staring at a dynasty that had happened, you know? God knows. McDavid probably won't get one if nothing changes there. If he stays at Edmonton, I think they've just destroyed. How do you have McDavid and Draisaitl this long? You never built a depth team around him, ever. Shit, I guess I just mentioned the 2010s for the perfection line, huh? Perfection line. Burns still trying to get one. Yeah. That's another reason to root for Colorado there. Yeah, that was weird. He's played for so many teams now, and I remember him being in Carolina, so it took me a second to to remember where he was currently playing. I feel like McDavid should leave Edmonton, even though he never will, to shake up the league. I think he might. All I've noticed from this offseason, by the way, actually, it's not even this offseason. Let's have this conversation, and then I have to go get a beer. I muted this, by the way. It's on commercial anyway. Matthews has changed the landscape of the league. I mean, he just did something in the largest franchise that the league has to offer that most players would never do. He makes $13.25 million a year. He's 28 years old. He's a prolific scorer. He is a franchise-defining player. I know that there's all sorts of feelings about what Matthews is and isn't, but the fact of the matter is he is a brilliant, generationally talented hockey player. Generationally talented in the sense that there's like a few of them a generation, not in the sense of like there's one of you, so I feel like I should define that a little better. But Austin Matthews is an incredible hockey player. Full no movement clause. Biggest franchise in the league. And he said something that signed his own death certificate, which was, I don't know if I'm going to be back because of the direction of the team. he is going to get ripped to pieces by that fan base. He's going to get shit on all over for it. Even if he does come back, he's going to be public enemy number one to complain about if they're not succeeding. He's put the biggest target on his back for his own fan base, which you know is not a very reasonable fan base. I've never seen a player of his level do this like this. And now it's forcing, obviously, Toronto to really pay attention to like what they're doing this upcoming year. Obviously, they don't own the first round pick for the next 2 years anyway, so it's a safer time to say this. But what an insane thing to do. I think if that happens, it comes to fruition that he leaves and he's like, I'm not coming back. I need you to trade me. The NHL, so the NBA is here with player empowerment. They'll force their ways out with 4 years left of the contract. I'm like, I'm out. Trade me, right? More than 4 years. They're in total control all the time. The NHL's here. That if he forces a trade, especially if it's not like a good one for Toronto, we're like here. We're way into the player empowerment era now. We're already in that in the NHL. We're about 10, 15 years behind the NBA with it. I think it's going to get a lot more like the NBA in that sense. Really only that sense. But this is a defining moment for the league, I think. And maybe I'm being dramatic, but it feels like a defining moment. All right, I'm a little behind because I had to rant about that. An offer sheet Fantilli. Yeah, I would certainly look into it. You just don't want to do Columbus's job for him, right? But you also don't want to give up like 4 first rounders for Fantilli because that's a lot to risk for a guy that you're not sure if he's a 1 seed. Oh, little chips, yeah. So while I'm ranting, you put that comment up there. I agree that that we're moving towards that way where players can control it more. And shit, the Pasta's comments weren't exactly warm and fuzzies either. Greenway could go. He scored in game 1, but really has not done much of anything all year. And it's not even Greenway is just more. You would rather keep Benson and Tuck than have Greenway. Like it's not like he's not a useful player. He takes bad penalties, which you don't love, and he's taken bad penalties in the playoffs. Yeah, I would love Tuck on the Bruins. I really do think Buffalo finds a way to re-sign him. Missed the check line. Yeah. What's up, Chief? Thornton and Cryan. Yeah. There's a few good guys there that never won. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Thornton might be the one to me, but maybe I'm a little biased there for like the best player who never won. That guy was absurdly good. Matthews became tired of the fan base bullshit. Man, if that's true, and I do not use this word often, I don't because I don't like it. I think it's bullshit. I think these guys are fucking warriors. That's kind of soft. Like that is soft. If you're sick of your front office, you're sick of your coworkers, you're like that makes sense to me. Oh man, Colorado's really got a lot going on for them right now. The Wild got to get off the map. Matthews goes to Vegas to join Marnie. That would be tough. That would be tough for everybody to accept. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more likely that front office has been so unbelievably incompetent. And remember, every season, these players walk into an office and sit down with either 1 or 2 guys or a panel of guys and has an exit interview, especially these high-profile players. And I guarantee he's been told the same shit every single year since he was 19 years old with this club. And in the first 4 or 5 years, you're not even 25 yet, right? You're doing your thing. You feel like you're going to be in the league forever. You get into your upper 20s and you see guys retiring before they even hit the age you're at. Guys who couldn't stick in the league. He's got injury history now. Every year wasted is another year wasted. Again, same comments that Pasta made. I'm never going to be against power to the players. They are the ones who actually make the money, right? So player empowerment is usually fine. It's just funny how it backfires at times for certain franchises. Like LeBron would have probably 7 or 8 rings if he didn't play GM for every team he had been on after like 3 years in the league. At least players started the players union back in the day, so history is rhyming. That is hilarious. I didn't know that. Well, that wasn't during the Ballard years, was it? Because that guy, worst owner in the history of sports. He's seen firsthand how the fan base handled Marner. He knew exactly how big of a target he painted on himself. He absolutely knew what he was saying. Yes. But it was just so astounding because every other star player is like, he's not actually going to do this, is he? And if he does, it becomes easy. It's so much easier to be the second guy to do it, you know? Dude, I think of as Nick Foligno. He's the reason I'm rooting for Minnesota. I fell in love with him during just a classic old guy without a cup, right? You want it for him. I agree. I am not trading Steve's Minton and a first for Beignet for Beniers. Beniers. Uh, love the player. Think he's very exciting. I They wouldn't take a 1-for-1 with Minton, but I don't think we would either, right? He really has not proved much. I like the player a lot, and I would love to explore that. I'm not giving up another center for him though, because I think there's a real chance that he turns into a potentially a wing. Honestly, that feels like it's saying too much, but he's been such a black hole offensively. He's only 22 though. Damn, he's getting 7.1 for the next 6. Wow, I forgot they extended him so big so early. It was during the Ballard years. Nailed that. That's incredible. Yeah, Austin, we'll get you whatever you need. You get sick of it. And this is why coaching changes are necessary too. Is because how many of us can say we worked for the same manager for 6, 7 years and we still liked the person by the end of it? Yeah, the Felino brother thing is awesome. I would send a first for Beniers, but I can't say his freaking name. But yes, I would send a first for him. It will be nice to actually care about a Sabres offseason a lot for the first time in years. Pressure's on. You got to stay in the playoffs next year. You can't let this be a one and done. Unless you win a cup, then everyone's just like, I feel great. I don't care. Harry Ballard, man. What an awful human being he was. There was an owner early in the league. I don't remember which franchise it was. Shit, it could have been the Toronto Arenas. That no, I think the years don't match up. Either way, they hated the guy so much that they basically submarined the league and then started a new one without the guy. Like that literally happened about 100 years ago. Was that actually the birth of the NHL? Might have been. I don't know. I like Steve's. I didn't watch enough games to see why he was scratched a lot, but I think he's a nice player. I don't dislike Steve's, but he became ineffectual basically right after that extension was signed. I think he still has a way to help this team, but tough back half of the year for him. And a very reasonable scratch for the playoffs. Putting him back in the lineup was actually kind of egregious. So I look at 2027 free agents. Okay, so not this year, the following. Center on a middling team who could make a true difference for us. Hischier. Okay. That would take. So he definitely doesn't hit free agency, right? Because Hischier, although is not the point guard that you would hope from, he was first overall, I believe, in his draft year. He is. I gotta mute this now. He is one of the most important players on that entire franchise. He's so sound in every single thing he does, defensively, offensively. He's Bergeron light. You know, he's not Bergeron, but he's Bergeron light. He's a brilliant player. also a great voice in that room. Like, that is their captain. So would they be interested in moving him? It would have to be a dire situation. They would also be, I mean, they would be asking for a lot. They would be asking for a lot. And they should. They really should. I like the idea, though. I do like the idea. They would take something disastrous happening, though. I thought I had a stroke when I saw Steve's get added to Team USA. Yeah, that roster is yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Someone put something in here about Matthews winning the gold. Hold on. Matthews got the gold medal, got a taste of professional success, and he's decided to dip on the Leafs. That's hilarious. Well said. Don't think the Sabres are winning the cup this year. Yeah, I believe. Man, you are here for the first time in 15 years. You got to believe. You got to believe. You got to believe. I get what you're saying, but you got to believe. Also, how fun is playoff hockey? It's stressful and awful, and you hate it, but it is really nice to be able to do it. Is it bad that a Mad Steves is now playing good? Wait, is he now playing good? Imagine that's the first trade Johnny has to make in Toronto, trading Matthews. You knew what you signed up for, bud. Sort of. Okay, this light is actually kind of hurting my eye, so I'm just going to turn it off, and we're going to go a little dark. We're dark! We're going to be a little dark for a second, guys. I don't think I can edit this from here, though. No, this is gross. The restream doesn't allow a lot of flexibility. We'll get that light back on in a minute, but it's hurting my eye. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah, it was the birth of the NHL, getting away from the bad owner. Nice. How much truth is there to be Matthews being a shitty leader, selfish and toxic in the room? I don't know how much I believe it. I've never heard one of his teammates say it. And not that they often do, but usually they leave breadcrumbs for you. I've never heard anything close to the ilk, you know? I'd be pretty surprised by that, honestly. Swear to God, Steve's had one good game where he scored like 2 goals or something. I thought for a few months there he was a really effective third liner, and he even got moved up to the first line for a second, but that was rampant injuries. Yeah, I don't know. He's just a utility guy for the bottom 6. Can't get too upset at him. You can't be too in love with him. For many, he's the emotional support fourth liner, which I can respect. We've all got one. Castle's my emotional support fourth liner. If they traded him, I'd be pissed. We can't get Nico. I want him. He's perfect, but we can't. It's an unlikely scenario. But again, you're trying to get clever. You're trying to look at what's available to you. Look well after dark. I told my dad before Game 6 when the Sabres moved on to round 2, I don't want to have to deal with another month of this. It's brutal, man. It is so fun, but when your team's involved, I talk about this. This is funny. 5 or 6 years ago, so the Canes buddy down here, I was the one who didn't introduce him to hockey by any means, but I was the first person in his life who loved hockey because he's from down here. And there's Charleston doesn't have a huge hockey fan base. It's growing, but it's not massive. So he finally had someone to talk hockey with, and he started to get way more into it. And the Canes were bad, right? They weren't doing anything. And then finally they get good. And the team starts making the playoffs. And he's all pumped about it. And the first year they made the playoffs, it's all fun, right? Underdogs, whatever. And then they make the playoffs again. And he's like, this feels less fun. I was like, oh, brother, just you wait. Make the playoffs 3 or 4 years in a row. Not only do you get all the stress, but you have expectations. When your team is an underdog, the stress is way different, way lower. And whatever happens, happens. If your team misses the playoffs, you just get to watch great hockey for a couple months, have no real stake in it. It's so good. It's great hockey. It's just really funny how making the playoffs is a curse for many of us for months because you're sitting there being like, this sucks. It's so stressful. Crew got some good stories during the end of the first period about his career. Bruce Cassidy and the Chicklets watch along. Recommend checking it out. I'm not a Chicklets guy. I used to listen to them years and years and years ago, but I just don't enjoy their vibe anymore. Not to say anything truly about them. I think Biz is a fucking idiot. But beyond that, I just kind of fell off that fandom. And I understand why people like it. I'm not judging there, but not my vibe. I do want to see what Krug had to say, though. I will check that out. It's bad to say that as a Bruins fan, I'm genuinely rooting for the Habs to win. They're extremely fun to watch and honestly easy to root for. Also, the Bell Center is absolutely electric. The Bell Center pisses me off because TD Garden was not that. We're not being good enough fans in these games. We're really not. I think it is bad to say that you're rooting for the Habs, but what are you supposed to do? It's a lot of enemies you're surrounded with right now. Wonder if there are any middling teams that if they miss playoffs next year may pivot or be interested in moving a core piece. Barzal would fit what we need. Niles could very well be meh. That's again, you are on the right track of thought process for this. You're trying to capitalize on a team who has a valuable asset and feels like they're forced to shake it up. It almost never works out for the team that shakes it up, right? Like it almost never does, unless they are like the proactive type. So the proactive type would be the Panthers and the Flames situation when the Panthers traded for Tkachuk. They said, we're a good team. We got these good players. We have these things. And they realized that it wasn't the right mixture that they wanted to. Now, it's a bold move, but it obviously worked out very well. And they traded for a guy who was the best player in the package. If you get the best player in a deal, you typically win the deal, unless injuries and such. But Sabres have no pressure now that they won round one. I don't know. Second in the conference. Now, I don't think they should have pressure from their own fan base because it's 15 years, right? Like, we're just happy to be here. But I think there are certainly other fan bases like you were the second overall team in the conference. You should, go on a little run here. That being said, yeah, I agree with you. You shouldn't feel crazy pressure. It's still going to, if you were not to win, it's still going to hurt like a son of a bitch. Hate the idea of paying a 13-4 more than league minimum. Valid. The 1.6 won't kill us, but valid. Bruins have 3 first-round picks in 28. Potentially. Probably is actually the answer here. There's going to be so much speculation about the 2027 pick because basically if it is a top 10 pick, if it's not a top 10 pick, it just goes to the Flyers, right? Like that's as far as I understand it. If it is top 10 pick, technically they should be able to decide whether they give it to the Bruins or the Flyers, which if I'm running the Leafs, I don't give a shit how good the Flyers look. I'm still giving them that pick. Why would I give it to Boston? Right? A division rival? I'm not doing that. But I was just listening to Chris Johnston on his podcast. And I think this was on his podcast, he mentioned that the league might step in and tell them if it does land in the top 10, where they need to give this pick to. Because I don't know. Ooh, we almost lost our stream there. So I'd be surprised if the league stepped in to do that and didn't just allow them to pick which side. The Bruins and the Flyers knew what they were signing on those trade deals, I would assume. To answer your question, in all likelihood, yes, the Bruins have 3 first-rounders in 2028. And if I swear to God, if the next thing that comes out of your mouth, you know what I'm referencing. Just leave it alone. I wonder if the front office circles back on Oliver Moore. They were interested in him in the draft for sure. I don't know what he's been since the draft. I couldn't tell you. I hope Hughes gets a big deal. He my guy. Which Hughes? Because I think Jack's already got a big deal. Recently rewatched your reaction to the last Game 7, Boston-Toronto, one of the funniest skits I've ever seen. I'd have to go back and look at it. I appreciate that, though. My favorite part of my week is when you stream so I can bombard you with potential offseason moves. Hell yeah, dude. And I feel like I'm so negative all the time with offseason moves, but I like to try to explain my way through them. For a Montreal area Boston Bruins fan, the TD is known into... Oh, is nothing? Maybe typo? TD is nothing to the Bell Center, and honestly, I go each year for the Bruins game, and honestly, I can't hate the Habs, but Bruins for it. Yeah. I get that. Rooting for the Habs blasphemy. It is, but hey, what are you supposed to do here? You root for the team that just beat you, you root for the other team. And the problem is the Habs, and this is good news for for Gene here, or Jean, I'm not sure. But Habs are fun as hell to watch. I hate it. I hate that I sit there and I'm like, I love watching this team. It's so fun. It's fluid. It's creative. It's fast. They still win their board battles. They still got the big guys on the back end who can give you a little bit of a rubbing. Yeah, the team's going to be really good for a very long time, and I kind of want to die. Chris Johnson's podcast is phenomenal. I don't love the way that it's – I don't like that it's an interview every time. They're just asking him questions. He's just answering. That gets a little old to me at times, but he is a very well-informed guy. And he's the only reporter out of Toronto who could give the Matthews news, and I'd believe it. Because that guy's integrity seems to be on point. He is a rarity in the sports world right now. I call it dogs during intermission. I wonder if they're inside or outside. I got to grab a beer anyway, so give me a second. I'll be right back. Unfortunately, they are all outside with their last potty break of the day. But we will get Larry in here as soon as he comes in. I'm leaving my door open so I can hear them. I think we trade a lot of our 13th forwards or middle-in players for picks and let the kids fill the holes. I don't know how many veteran guys are getting moved out this offseason. But I do think the kids are going to have a chance. I really do this year. What is the data limit for the Leafs to choose who gets which pick? Oh, date limit. That's a great question. Oh. I don't know. I have no idea. That's a really good question. Interesting. My hope is that Philly is up and coming, and the Leafs think it would be worse to give them another top 10 pick and give it to Boston to mitigate the damage. The only way I see that happening is if it's like the 9th or 10th overall pick, and they're like, you know what? We don't know what 2028 is going to be, so might as well just give Boston this one and hope that, they go seeing guy Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes, man, he's an unbelievable player, and he's going to make a lot of money. How do I come up with the skits? I stare at a wall until a joke comes to mind. I'm not afraid of, like, if I see a joke that I'm like, I can turn that into hockey related. I love to jump on that kind of stuff. So, like, I like, some people think that it's a gotcha moment where I'll do a skit that is very much ripped from someone's joke, right? Which I would argue like a solid 20% of my skits are based on somebody else's joke that I've seen before. But yeah, I absolutely do that on purpose at times because I like the joke. I'm like, well, we can make this hockey. We can twist it a little bit. And they call it out in the comments. And sometimes it's like, oh, cool. And sometimes it's like, I got your ass. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to hide that at all. The other 80%, I just stare at a wall and hope something comes to me. They're not all gems. There's definitely some that I'm like, it wasn't really great, or, you do your best. But I think at least a couple a year are damn funny. So skit is Toronto dreaming they beat Boston, but waking up to realize they get no. That was a good one. Obviously the best of the year was the my wife beating me with a belt. That Rangers shit kicking. That was by far the best skit of the year. Would you name your firstborn son after a Bruin? I've named all of my dogs after Bruins. So yes, is basically what I'm saying. Larry's middle name is Mac, for McAvoy. Or you could do Larry McDonald if you want to. And then Velma Patrice Bonner. Yeah, Velma's middle name is Patrice. And people have called me weird for giving my dogs middle names. I don't care. They're dogs. It's like the point, right? People name them all sorts of stuff. Why am I wearing a Ballard jersey? Are they back in? Hold on. And so how much time do I have before the game starts? We got a minute. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna have to unmute for a second. Hold on. I need to steal Larry. It's a Larry. He really doesn't like being picked up like this, though, but he's a happy little guy. You see how cute he is? Look at his little arm. He's very confused. All right. Go, little man. Go. Be free. Thank you. He's getting a treat from high quality wife right now. Oh. John B, yes, mustard cat, and the light was hurting my left eye. It's just hours of it. Like, I also have a terrible astigmatism in my left eye, so everything's blurry. All right, we are. Start up. Team Meteor, absolutely. Hopefully, Sabres can jump early in Game 4 and just hang on and keep the foot on the gas. I think you have not shown in the past 2 games by any means how capable of a team you are. Like, Montreal is a very good team. They shouldn't be running you guys over the way they are. You know? I just think you have a better chance than maybe you feel like you have currently. Tell me why I'll give Quinn a check and say write what you want and get an extension done. I bet that happens. What's up, AJ? What's up, man? Checking in from Maine Mariners game. Nice. Still a Boston affiliate playing playoff hockey. Good for them. It's been a tough go in Boston. Picked up a Portland Pirates jersey. Hope all is well with you and high quality wife. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Every time you stare at a wall, 100%. Yeah. Yep. The belt bearing one continues into the next skit. Yeah, that's true. The belt does. I do like doing the multi-part ones every now and again. It's rare that it works. Oh, great shot early. No, blocks. There's too many disgruntled Bills fans commenting on hockey videos, or I would root for the Sabres. Uh-oh. Nelson misses wide. I understand your thoughts on that, but I just think that's a fan thing. I am genuinely shocked at how quickly Sabres fans, and I just think because its tensions are really high, but it really does seem that they're just have this idea that the series is over. 2-1. Maybe they're right, but still a lot of hockey to play. I got Boston Red Sox 49. I need to get Larry a Red Sox jersey just for you. You know, just to put him in it. Look at all that traffic in the net front, though. None of it blocked Wallstedt's eyes, but still. Disgruntled as a default state of Buffalonians. It's fucking cold up there. Confused as a default state for Larry. Brother, you don't even know how true that is. I mean, I've talked to you about Larry a lot, but hope wife had a good time at the horse show. Brother, she cleaned up. I mean, I think she came home with 7 ribbons, grand champion of her division. Like, it's a good little weekend for her. And she's worked really hard for it to be so. Oh, right through the crease. Ducks versus Canadians and Ducks in 7. Woo! That would be a sick. I think Montreal runs the Ducks over probably, but that would be a sick finals. Whatever team gets this to 7, amen. I'm with you on that. I mean, this looks like a power play. What is happening? Oh, interference. The peepee time. Think the Ducks would move one of Minchkov or Zellweger? Yeah, I do. I think they might think about it. I think that they'll think about me thinking about them thinking about it. All right, I'll stop being annoying for a second and actually jump over to their little Puckpedia. I love doing this while streaming and just being like, let me refresh how many, because they have a bunch of help on defense right now. Now, do they re-sign all of Truba, Carlson, and Gudas? No. No, they don't. I wouldn't be shocked if Carlson was like, I don't want to keep bouncing around. Like, let me vibe out here for the end of my career. But they probably keep one of the three. And they just have guys they like. I don't know. It does feel like sometimes defensemen just get moved before they should. And like they pop off elsewhere. Like that's the one position where you can get some crazy value with the right deal. I think Quinn Hughes is the most important person on the Wild, and that I'm saying that as a huge Kaprizov fan. I love watching Kaprizov play. But this team is Quinn Hughes' team now. And yes, he's more important as well, not just better. This power play is so scary, though. That got blocked. He didn't miss. And they're pushed out so far right now. They've got to find some way to shrink this a little bit. Wow, they really loaded up on that left side. Wow, they really loaded up on that left side. That's interesting. You don't typically see the three right in a line there, but it was a good scoring opportunity, especially with the screen in front. If he gets that wide far post, that's a goal. Sabres got the belt to ass the past couple games. Not the same team that played the best second half in the league this year. That's the thing. And this is what I told Bruins fans going into that series when they were like, it's Buffalo. I'm not worried. I'm like, that's literally the best team in the league over the past 3 months. I don't give a shit what the schedule was. And I don't think the schedule was egregiously easy. That was the best team, literally, both statistically and by results for 3 months. It's a damn good team. Now, look, season as a whole, a little bit of a conversation to be had about PDO and all that stuff, but we'll see. We'll see if they can continue it into next year. Wonder if we really made an offer for Nate Jess, he would be so good for us. We need speed and scoring. He would be. I don't know his contract situation. Oh, back in the zone, 30 seconds left. That's a good find by McCarr. Oh, Nate, just move in. Nate, just move in. Nate, just move in. Just get up there a little bit. There's so much skill on the ice right now. That's what you're looking for. That's exactly what you're looking for. That's what McCarr was looking for. He knows that save is coming. He just wants that rebound right out to his guy in the corner. That's what you're looking for. Just couldn't capitalize. Good save by Wallstedt. All right, where's Nate Jess in here? Nate Jess makes 11.5 million starting next year. I don't think we're getting Nate Jess. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that out there. Getting Lindholm and not Nate Jess was an epic disaster. Was it ever possible for you? Saw that deal that Nate Jess went for? That wasn't. We didn't have anything to match anywhere close to that. I feel like Lindholm is a very separate deal. Red Sox gain half a game on the Yanks. We'll take it. Bill Guerin has had himself a year with the gold medal and the Quinn Hughes trade. Yeah, he's an incredibly embarrassing human being. But yes. Who do I have on the jersey? So there's no one on the back of it, but it does have a signature. It does have a signature. Now, not usually. I'm never a signature guy on jerseys, but I had a hard time getting a mustard cat, and so I might someday try to remove that signature. Been on here for 10 something years, 15 years. So doubt that's really possible. The guy who sold it to me believes that it's a Thomas Vokoun signature. I frankly don't care. I did really like Vokoun as a player, though. So Tomas Vokoun, right? Tomas. I mean, Minnesota has got to get some shifts going here, though. I know they just killed that power play, but the back half of the first period was all Colorado. Oh, oh, good saves. Good saves. Hold on. So, Wallsted's putting on a show. This is what you pay him for. I gotta look at this Dean comment in a second. Someone's yelling at somebody. Oh, it's another. All right. Would you do Laterno a first in 1 or 2 seconds for Tom Wilson? No. No, I would not. I don't like Wilson, obviously, but as a player, stud. Absolute stud. He's been really, really good. This season was especially good. But no, that's too hefty of a price for me. Yeah, that's I hang up the phone. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my second best prospect a first. I mean, even a second, even Letourneau on a first, I don't do it. I think this series goes to 7. My brain says Kadri wins it in overtime. My heart says Quinn in overtime. Game 7 overtime in this series. Got a bad feeling that the PDO is going to fall off next season. We're going to be out of the playoffs and stuff might get ugly. There's a reason you shouldn't trade next year's first round pick if you're the Bruins. Or have it well protected if you do. Does he throw that? You can't do the Jesus. What a bad penalty to take. And Gene, for what's worth, or Jean, Letourneau is on the trade block if the right guy is coming back. But yeah, Chief, I feel very similarly to you with the PDO stuff. Like the Bruins have a lot of question marks. They overachieved. They had career years all over the place on the roster. A lot of question marks about what they could be next year. Now, obviously, if Swayman has another season like he did this year, there's no reason we can't be in the playoffs again. You got to have some more scoring, though. You have to have something else. Because think about it. The season basically goes in fluctuations of losing and winning streaks. Pasta's good throughout the year. Geeky's on fire the first half of the year and really wins us a ton of games. He falls off. Zacha has a hot streak 2/3 through the year, which keeps us winning some games. And then held on long enough to get the 8th seed in the playoffs. And you had McAvoy career year offensively. Zacha, I think, had a career year. Geeky, obviously, career year for goals. There's just a huge opportunity for a step back. You have to find a way to minimize that because the scoring is what's very likely to take a huge step back, which is scary because the defense was such a huge problem this year. Sabres D-men need to park it on both posts of the D-zone to protect the back door and push the Habs away. They get too many chances within 10 feet. Oh, you think they're a little wandery? They wander off their post a little bit? Interesting. I'll have to pay attention to that next game. Is Minnesota still only at 4 shots? Holy. Hey, look. The Montreal won game 7 with 9 shots on net. It can be done. Started watching Wild games this season back in November because of Wallstedt. Glad to see he's staying pretty consistent throughout the season. Tiffany, right there with you. I'm always going to lock into a... Wait, what just happened? What just happened? I got back from commercial and the goal was already, like, he's going down the line. Okay. Immediately knocks him off the puck and then recovers his own. Wow. Oh, that Faber just gets face planted. That's a legal hit too. There's nothing illegal about that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Isn't Letourneau our own version of Tage Thompson? If everything goes right, yeah, everything has to go very, very, very right. Letourneau should be an untouchable. No one's. I mean, outside of your franchise pillars, right? Unless you're like totally rebuilding, but there's not a prospect we have that's untouchable right now. Frankly, nor should they be. Pasta is a franchise-defining player. Getting him help to make a run, that's important. Doing it haphazardly is obviously not worthwhile. Like you need to make sure that the team's actually going to be good enough to compete. But no, I'm comfortable trading Hagens or Laterno or Mitten, who I adore, as long as the player coming back is incredible. 7 seed. You're right. 7 seed. I don't know why I said 8 seed. The progression this season was amazing. Absolutely. And he should be what his personal coach was talking about is it's it's about the skating. He wants to be the guy on the team this year, and he wants to improve his skating to make sure that there's no concerns for it at the next level. Because I think he's eyeing a jump straight to the NHL. Uh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I doubt that happens, but there's still a lot about Laterno that has to get figured out. I know his season was very good, but there's still a oh stoned 5 hole. Colton tries to backhand 5 hole. Um, But no, his wall work still needs some work. He's still an awkward size, so the skating, although very good for his size, is not something that they're very confident about at the next level. Um, and just overall vision and playmaking could use some improvements because they're treating them like they want him to be. You know, he's a first round pick. They're treating him like they want him to be a top of the lineup player. You're hoping that comes true. But yeah, still a lot of question marks there. It's just easy to love him, especially with the way he jumped up. I get why everyone is focused on getting forward to help with scoring, but how awful our underlying defense numbers were, getting help on the blue line should be the priority. I see your logic. And yes, they badly need help on the right side in particular, but my theory is a lot of the defensive problems were because we were spending exorbitant amounts of our time in the defensive zone. We couldn't put together any sort of possession in the offensive zone. We can't cycle the puck. We're not winning board battles. We're not clearing pucks well. So that's where your defense comes in, right? But I do think advancing the forward groups to actually allow a system of let's get set and create some traffic in front of the net. I think that's going to help your defense tremendously. Also, not for nothing, Arvidsson, Middlestat, Pasta, who's the Dinov is good, but still very small. Um, there were a lot of forwards who were terrible defensively through the year. That also hurts you. So I agree they need help there, but trading Mint would hurt. Trading Mint would kill me, but I would for certain deals. Selling high on Geeker or Zaka. Zaka's going to be a conversation at the trade deadline for sure if the team's not where they need to be. Even if they are where they need to be, it might be a conversation depending on this year. Geeky makes 5.5 million and scored over 30 goals, almost 40 goals this year. You have to bet on that. You can't move off that. Because if that guy is going to be a consistent 30 goal scorer for 5.5 million, that's one of the highest value contracts in the league. Habs rotate around a lot and have had so much offensive zone time. Yeah, Jack, that's exactly what I'm talking about with the Bruins stuff. This your forwards create like if you give up a ton of time in your zone, which your forwards are often causing because they can't keep the puck alive in the other zone, eventually you're gonna break. Like that's just what it is. Dean 3 C's soon, yeah, or maybe one more year. Probably two, but maybe one. He would be like the 8 to 9 assets with value I would move. Yeah, I get it. High on Will Zellers. We should be high on Zellers. We should be high on Cooper Simpson. We should be high on Laterno. We should be high on Hagens. Like, wait till they prove you wrong, you know? So I'm with you on that. And Zellers continues to prove me wrong because I was pretty like, I don't know if he's going to excel at the NCAA level. I had questions about his skating. I did not realize he was as much of a rat as he was. That guy's got some piss and vinegar on his own. Uh, and you're really hoping Dean works out because Zellers is pretty small. Husnadinov's small. Hagens is like you need a little bit of size in your forward group. What do you think the return looks like on a trade with Middlestat? I think he played well enough that he's not a cap dump. Like you don't have to give up an asset anymore, like the Avalanche did to send him to us. But the return is minimal at best because his contract and his prior years of play, it's just not very good. If Anderson doesn't make it free agency, what are the names they're looking for in right-handed defensemen? Who are the right-handed? There's a couple comments about this actually. Maybe hard to find someone who can step into our lineup and make a real impact. Yeah, there's nothing. There's Radish, but that's a again. They're just skating around the defense. Good try. Faber stuck with him though. Radish is the prototype for like don't do that. He's 30 years old. Suddenly had a career year where he doubled his point totals from any year prior. I'm not for that at all. Even if it did allow him to move up the lineup, like I'm not signing Radish to a crazy deal. Not much else there. On the right-handed side, unfortunately, you'll have to try to look for a trade in all likelihood. I mean, there's really aging options, right? I think you've got your Gudas is right-handed. Yeah, Gudas is right-handed. Truba's right-handed. Like those guys probably make the free agency, but yikes, dude. Late 30s. I don't know about that. What do you think is going to happen to Matthews? I don't. Personal take, no prediction, but personal take. I don't think you say I'm not sure if I'm going to be back unless you've decided you're not going to be back. Not to that fan, not to any fan base. Can you imagine that? Imagine you tell your wife that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back. You better not be back, motherfucker. Like, she's going to kill you. That could have been a skit. That could have been. Damn. That could be a skit. I hope I remember that. The P-Bruins loss to Springfield was the largest upset by points in Calder history. Yeah. Yeah. Might be a Boston problem. Pinhead, there are a lot of conversations that keep coming out about Mouginel's effect on the Providence guys. Because the more reports are just coming out that these guys are frustrated. They're not happy with the way they're handled. They're not happy with the way that they are forced into a system that often doesn't fit them. If I am an AHL coach, I am finding ways to, yes, mimic what my GM wants for the next level, but also expanding on the strengths of the guys I have. You want to get them out of some errors and some. If a guy's really bad defensively, you want to improve that side of the game, but you also want to make sure that they're being utilized to the best of their abilities and growing in those ways. It sounds like the AHL is being treated like the NHL in Boston, where they're forcing you into a system and saying, this is how we want to play the game. In the NHL, there's at least an argument for like, this is a system the coach wants to play. We need you to focus on this. Which like Pasta was talking about how he was asked to focus as a facilitator this year. And he disagreed. He wants to go back to being a scorer next year, which, yeah, shoot the puck, dude. So yeah, there's definitely some disagreements down at the lower levels, and Mouginel could lose his job over it. We'll see. Yeah, either he keeps scoring 30 and he's on a great deal you want to keep, or he regresses and you won't get much of anything from him in a trade. So, yeah, at 5.5, I'm just not worried about it. And he's been a good enough guy to make me believe that will he be streaky? Yes, but his streakiness is he explodes for goals at times, and every non-superstar is streaky. Wondering how much Arvidsson will get. Me too. I'm really curious. I would love to see him get one last big contract. I just don't want him to get one last big contract with the Bruins. All right, Minnesota power play. Here we go. Too many men. One of the worst penalties you could take. It's brutal. Sabres had a lot of zone time in the Boston series. Montreal just pokes the puck away and we're good. Jack, to be fair, the Bruins are one of the slowest teams in the NHL. It's not surprising that this is a very different kind of matchup Um, and maybe it lulled Buffalo into a weird sense of security, honestly. But you guys came out firing in game one. Although I guess there wasn't a lot of zone time for you in that one either. Montreal did have a lot more zone time, but we kept the outside well. Prove that you can play defensive hockey and still get defensive hockey and still get paid. Middle stat, yeah, I'm with you. I don't like watching middle stat play. I don't like him on the Bruins. I don't. He's been fine, and that second line was one of the best lines in the league this year, oddly enough. But and again, the stop at the blue line, Brent Burns of all people. Kind of love Brock Faber being on the Wild because Brock Faber is the most Minnesota name that's ever been. I love goalies. I love defensemen, man. I'm with you on Faber. Big fan. And there's a piece of me that loves that we got Hustadino from the Wild. And he also acts like a mountain man. So just a thought. Geeky can score a good amount, but he wasn't too consistent this year. Doesn't generate a lot of goals for himself. He has to have someone like Pasta to serve him many of his goals. Yes, I totally agree. His shot is good enough that although he can't create space for himself, which to be fair, very few non-star players can truly create space for themselves. Can't create space for himself, but you give him a chance with the puck. We've got guys on this team who can make some plays. Hagens can facilitate an open player into a scoring position. So I'm not super worried about Geeky because his job is to be a trigger man, not to create the offense exactly. He's more to finish the play. And that's a role that every team needs, right? Like that's just part of it. So not overly concerned there. But I think you make a good point. Owen Tippett would be a great Arvidsson replacement. Hell yeah, dude. Owen Tippett would have been the one I was interested in a deadline to make a grab at, but obviously Philly rebounded really well. DiPietro better be the backup next year, or he at least better get a real chance in camp to win that job, in which he had. I'm kind of going back and forth. This is an unbelievable penalty kill by these guys, and they get right into the zone. All right. DiPietro had a chance, I genuinely think, to come out of camp with the backup job this year. He was terrible. He was awful. He had poor rebound control through camp. He didn't have great numbers. He just didn't look good in general. And so him not making the team out of camp made all the sense in the world to me. And then knock on wood for next season, all that, the goalies were healthy. That's it. You know, they should have at some point probably sent Corpusalo down and brought DiPietro up. There are reports from guys closer to the team that the Bruins don't believe they have an answer in net in the AHL, meaning Zajac and DiPietro, Bussy. But that being said, I'd have a hard time seeing a guy be named the best goaltender in the league for 2 years and not be given NHL games, you know? Just seems weird to me. Yeah, Jack, if that's the case, if they think they can just outskate the Habs, that's not happening. It's just not. But that's playoff hockey, right? Is that these are the matchups you got to win. Is the ones where they can keep up with you. Yeah, he should be the backup. He should be the backup. I think they'll try to move Corpusalo in the offseason. We'll see. Oh, they got a shot on net. Good for them. They're up to 5. Go, Minnesota. The Bruins aren't old. They're just slow. Yeah, it's fair. Did that get under his legs? What? It never went in? Another save. Look, and 2-on-1 the other way. Puck got too far ahead. Still good clearance. Best 5 on 5 shift of the period. Best 5 on 5 shift of the game for Minnesota. Man, Colorado's so fast to get up the ice. Interesting to see when trades happen. Everyone been reporting that a lot of handshake deals have been done around the deadline. Um, I would bet a lot of them are kind of waiting till the playoffs ends, right? They just want to make sure that all the options are out there. Like how Parker Kelly's like, what? Like, I don't know. That looks textbook to me, brother. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's a call. I thought that got underneath Blackwood. He kept it out, stacks the pads. Oh, you love to see it. The interesting thing about Deep Air is he's technically shorter for an NHL goalie. Yeah, he has physical elements that make them question it. And Tiffany, I wanted to answer this. I read this a second ago. DiPietro probably was nervous at camp. He needs time to cook and get used to the NHL level. I hope he gets those look. I totally agree. If I'm Sweeney, I'm not having DiPietro in the NHL to start the 2025-2026 season based off his performance. And if it was due to nerves, that actually vindicates me for not doing it. Because you're not about to get less nervous when you walk out onto NHL ice, right? So I'm very comfortable if I'm Sweeney going, you're not, yeah. Like, you got to show me that you're ready. It can't just be NHL games. You got to come into camp prepared both physically and mentally. And so I think that decision was the right one. Never giving him a look. I think it's more about Corpusalo having at least one really good game every like second or third start. Like Corpusalo won us as many games as he lost us, but he also lost us as many games as he won us. You know? So I just think it was a tough kind of scenario. And DiPietro was cooking down there. So he should have a very, very real chance. Michael Ron Hextall DiPietro with a save percentage of the 0-0 GA in the NHL this season. He played 6 minutes and faced 2 shots. I forgot about that. That's right. He did get into one game. And he was happy not to screw it up. Yeah, it was a good experience for the guy. Thoughts on Hurricanes already at the Eastern Finals? It's not good for him. We've seen this time and time again. It's not good for him. Oh, wait. Is the period over? Or no. They still have the power play. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think it's good for the Canes. That much sitting. I mean, unless Montreal ends this real quick, but there's still at least, what, you still 4 days to go till that series is over? I think the earliest that could start is like 5 days from now. It's not good. And that could be, it could be 10 days between games for the Hurricanes. It's not good. We'll see. We'll see. This is why they try not to start the next round before the round before ended as best to their ability. Jack, that's so funny because in the preview for the Bruins and the Sabres series, I talked about how if Boston can have an impact in the neutral zone defensively, you minimize a ton of the Sabres offense. Through the year, a lot of the Sabres offense was through their rush chances, which, to be fair, is oftentimes an indicator of a good team. You know, speed and efficiency in these moments. It's a nice try. Was that Boldy? Yeah. I don't love the rumors that Evan Gold could bring Langenbrunner and Rogalski to Vancouver. I think it's extremely likely. Not overly concerned, right? I don't love it, but you got to be able to replace these guys eventually. And if they're doing the job well, they're going to get snagged from you. Hey, that 100% NHL save percentage. They don't ask how. They ask how many. So, oh, wait, shit. Yeah, he is a smaller goalie. It's hard. It's hard to be a small goalie in this league. It really, really is difficult. Really, really is difficult. Corpusalo, the type of goalie to get you to OT no matter if you're behind or in the lead by 3. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Wait, he got the win that game? That technically fell on him? That's not possible. The Bruins didn't score while he was... I don't think the Bruins scored while he was on the ice. I don't think it's possible he got that W. Unless I'm misremembering something. Hurricanes being done with Philly before Buffalo traveled to Montreal is kind of whack. Yeah, it was their worst case scenario. The league was, I'm sure, not happy starting round two on I think a Saturday, and then having Game 7 of round one on a Sunday. Yeah, Taylor Hall Cup would go crazy. We've got some great guys without cup stories right now. We really do. In fact, most of the teams have at least one where you're excited about it. Who's Montreal's old guy without a cup? Am I missing an obvious name here? Like a guy who like you'll be really happy gets it if he got it. Yeah, Corby got to win that game. That's what I thought. Tiffany, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're exactly right. Is and we've seen time and time again sweeping a team. Yeah, you avoid injuries and fatigue, but there's also an element of if you have a long wait time for your next game, the rust sets in. It's bad at this level. Montreal's, excuse me, fighting for its life every night against a fast and physical Buffalo team. They're at the top of their game when they're winning those games. So if they win a game, they need two more. They need two more games. They need two more, right? It's just a long time to wait for a team that is playing at the highest level they can. And then they come in and they're like, hey, 2 nights ago, we were doing this. We're ready. And you are 10 days cold. Not good. In order to generate a rush, we have to be able to steal a couple pucks on entry, but the Habs are good on their entry. Just fuck are they? They are good at everything, man. Josh Anderson, yeah, but is he like a guy you root for? Gallagher, not a guy you root for, to be fair, but I probably still a he's older than Anderson, I think, right? With D'Angelo in league, do you think we will ever see Mitchell Miller kind of crushing the KHL, but he's a piece of shit? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's the all of that just sucks. Just I really just I'm not that hard to please with this stuff. People make it out that I'm some like you have to be a perfect person to play in the NHL. I'm a hockey fan, man. There's a lot of bad people in the NHL, unfortunately. If he had come out and gave like a heartfelt apology and talked about things he was doing to be a better person and all this shit, he didn't. He made this half-assed attempt. He lied about it, and then like you haven't learned anything. Nah, he's fine. There's no way he hit it that hard, right? Oh, that a broken nose? I don't know if that's the mouth, brother. Is that broken? No, not enough blood, right? Not enough blood to be broken. Brother, I don't think that's the mouth. I think he took it to the fucking. That's a broken nose. Why does he keep saying teeth? Is that not very obviously the nose? Yeah, friendly fire looks like. Puck right to it. That sucks. Oh, no worries, Wade. No worries at all. Some of your favorite non-Bruins players. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, that's a broken nose, I think. Put the cage on, brother. Get back to it. You got this. He ain't missing anything. McCarr is, I mean, you call me bandwagon, but I was arguing this during the draft. Love McCarr. I love watching him play. I'll take every opportunity to watch him play. He's probably my favorite non-Bruin. Uh, Other favorites. Stall. I love watching. Big goalie guy in general. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because I like saying his name. Sebastian Aho is a big one. Love Sebastian Aho. Love, love that player. There's a name I'm missing that's gonna bug me if I don't say it, and I can't figure out who it is. Like going through the teams in my head right now. There's no one on Philly, no one on Pittsburgh that I give a crap about. No one on the Panthers. The Panthers are so like it's so hard to root for anybody on that team. It's easy to root for guys out west typically though. Like if Marner didn't go to Vegas, I would root for him, right? Hagel up until this year, I really liked watching, but he's become such a piece of shit on the ice that I'm like, I don't really like watching you anymore, man. I need 2 games, but they also won't be easy. Don't think the Sabres won't go away that easy. No, I think that series has a real chance to go 7 games, and I hope it does. But that does screw the Canes. If it goes 7 and they're going 2 weeks between games, brutal. 55 seconds left. This would be a big goal for a team that's been largely outplayed if they could get one late here. There's a name I'm forgetting that I can't pull right now for some reason. Like there's no one in Calgary. I don't care about Vancouver. Oh, because there's Marco Rossi. That's not the name actually, but like there's still another name. I can't. Marco Rossi, I really liked. Uh, well, there's somebody out there. Can't think of who it is. I just love hockey though. They did score. They went up 2-1 when he was in, and we never gave up the lead, but Corby still got it for some reason. If the game didn't finish with that being the game-winning goal, he wouldn't get the win. So if the game ended 4-2, then technically the goal it scored, I don't remember what the end score of that game was. But if it ended 4-2, then that goal that scored while he was in net, not being the game winner, means that he doesn't get the win. It's basically whoever's in net when the game winner is scored. Woo! I mean, that's a black and white way to say it, and I think there's some moments that are different, but for the most part, at least the puck didn't hit him in his weenie. Not even Marchand. Yeah, I mean, I am overjoyed that Marchand got a second cup. I truly am. But if you think I'm rooting for Marchand on the Panthers, absolutely not. Like both those things could be true. Yo, mama's a hoe. It's good sign stuff at the Canes for sure. Let's talk about your son Don for a second. You think he makes the big team next year? I think he has if he recovers on time, right? If he has a mostly normal offseason after the surgery, I think he has a real chance at a bottom 6 role. We'll see. It's going to be a tough battle for that, but being a like 4th rounder, he's not under that pressure because he's 22, right? He's going to be 23 next year. It's not under that pressure of like he has to be in the league right away. He's like these are the formative years. He needs to be. No, they know what he is, and he's going to continue to impress. Fave non-Bruin, who his current player is Caulfield. That's a tough one, but God, I get it. I really get it. Retired as Le Cavalier. Those Tampa teams back in the day, I loved like NHL 2003. He was a baller. Iginla, obviously, same NHL 2003. Dude slaps. Hey, Iginla's cover for that, I think. He was a Bruin for a cup of coffee. He was, but he's a Flame. That's who he is. My brain can't take Game 7. Jack, you don't have a choice, brother. What kind of chair you rocking? A GT Omega. This is from years and years ago. It's held up really well. It's a really good chair, but never gets sore on it. My wonderful wife years ago bought it for me. My wife rocks, guys. Like she's so great. I can't. Yeah. What a woman. What an unbelievable woman. Oh, there's actually a couple of jerseys. It's kind of funny. So the Jake DeBrusk jersey I own, when he was just a prospect and I was excited about him, it was difficult to find a Jake DeBrusk jersey. There was a bit less of the sellers everywhere 10 years ago. But it was hard to get with my limited knowledge at the time for collecting. I had some stuff, but not a lot. It was difficult for me to find someone who would do the actual DeBrusk specific jersey. The NHL site wouldn't offer it, and she contacted someone from the team to get it made. She was like, "Hey, we can't figure out who will just make us a 2-spec DeBrusque jersey." And I guess she talked to somebody that was involved with the team, and he was like, "Yeah, I can get you one. It's not going to be a made in Canada one, but I can get you one." And she was like, "Great." So it's my most special jersey. I wear it for I wore it for game 5 in the series against Buffalo because I wear him for elimination games. I can't wear him in back-to-back games. I can't do that with every jersey. So unfortunately, game 6 I had to switch it up. But she went out and got it for me, and that's the kind of woman she is. It's just like these really personal things that she does that it just means a lot, you know? It just means a lot. She also got me a Seattle jersey when they first became a franchise, and we went to Seattle to catch a game this year. And while I was there, I bought one of their glow-in-the-dark crazy-ass jerseys, and she got really sad because she was like, "You're no longer going to wear mine." Like, that's not how that works at all. A Capo Caco enjoyer. That's interesting. That's interesting. He never really sticks out to me in games. I like Kucherov a lot. I know the Bruins people might not, but I love how capable he is of having a power play goal with. Yeah, I hate Kucherov. I hate him. I hate him. I understand. I don't think you're wrong. I just hate him. Will you have anything about draft prospects? Absolutely. Absolutely, we're going to do some draft prospect stuff. The Ducks in general are just fun to root for, except for their coach. It ended 4-2. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then that he didn't get the win. Yeah. Weird, right? I like Granlund a lot because the Panthers have a lot of players from Finland, so he plays with them a lot and he comes in clutch a lot. Dude, I made so much fun of Granlund and that contract and the trade, all of it, because I just think he's one of the most overrated guys, and he keeps proving me wrong, so it pisses me off. The fact Marchand got a second cup at Bergeron didn't makes me upset. Very different scenarios because Marchand had to go to another team, right? And had to tell this team where he wanted to go. Just a different kind of career. Like, Marchand's not getting the rafters. Nor should he, in my mind. But Bergeron is. Dons is coming for Corrali's spot. That's exactly my thought. And he's a guy who could play higher in the lineup, I think. Yeah, he always starts on the 4th line before he rises. Every stop. Dons is going to be like 27 in our 1C. I do think something went terribly wrong, if that's true. We're going back to dark for a second. I can see again. Be nice to finish in 6th for the Sabres, but they need to win 3 in a row against the hottest team in the league. Am I delusional? Yes. You got to believe. Now's the time to believe. Who cares about logic? Just believe. I cheer for Fantilli on Columbus. Yeah. He played for your high school? Very cool. Quack and Plasma, what's up, brother? Also, hello. Looking back on it, would you have rather signed Stamkos over Elias Lindholm? Would you rather burn to death or drown to death? And Stamkos had a great rebound season this year, goal-wise, but you're basically like, hey, I guess Stammer? I guess? Current contracts? What did they pay Stammer? And for how long? I'm going to answer my own question. Don't worry about it. 8 for 2 more years after this one. Fuck, man. Stammer, I guess. I hate that you asked me that. That was rude. Hate to say it, but when Sikorsky has a good name, the guy looks like he dominates the game. A good game. Yeah. So, the Habs, right? The Habs, who we keep complimenting, and I want to die from it. Do you know who's not even close to his prime yet? Slavkovsky. Demidov. Kapanen. Bolduc. He's pretty Gooley's pretty close here. Jack Guy's at 25 is fine. Lane Hudson. Like, they can't afford to keep the band together, right? They couldn't, possibly. They'll let Patrick Laine walk, obviously. This has just been IR bait all year anyway. But my goodness, the cap constraints are the only hope we have against this team just winning a billion games. Stamkos and a spoke B would have gone crazy. It would have been weird. I'm a Caulfield fan partially because I do feel allegiance to players from Wisconsin. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing. I just said this earlier. Montreal's so fun to watch. I hate them. I hate them. I hate that they're fun to watch, though. I think I hate that more than the fact that I just hate them. Like, what you're telling me that now because I want to be entertained, I got to watch this team that I hate and they're so good and they're so fun to watch? They're going to win like 3 cups. It's fine. Just win one game, one period, and one shift at a time. Jack, that's the name of the game, brother. The name of the game. Fuck the Habs, man. I'm going to grab another beer because I've earned one. I'm not sure how one exactly earns a beer in this setting, but I feel like I have. I have so many messages. Why do I have so many messages? Wow. You know, sometimes when I have a billion messages, it's like social media, Discord, and stuff like that because something hockey related happened and a few texts. No, I just randomly got texted by a billion people for all different reasons. I'll be right back. Beer. As many of you know, I got back from my honeymoon and I had almost 60 Guinness cans left over from the wedding. And in the past couple of weeks, I have officially finished half of them. There's still 27 left. And I know you'll sit there and you'll go, that's not very good progress. But I'd like to remind you all that I have a job and such. Also, we have dozens, not dozens. We have about 18 bottles of wine left over. We obviously stocked to make sure. Thank God they went through the liquor. Thank God the attendees went through the liquor. We bought a ton of liquor and they crushed it. But yeah, so we're halfway there. We have 27 more Guinnesses to go. I feel good about that. Habs and Bruins games are some of my favorite to watch. They get so intense. Yeah, people like to act like that rivalry's dead, but even a regular season game, so intense. I don't need to hear that. None of them are in their prime, please. They look like the Soviet team from the 1980s. They look like the Soviet team from the 1960s, brother. Like it's that bad. That was the douchiest to like, well, semantics. No, I get what you're saying. Won't be as fun to watch if they play Carolina in the Eastern Conference Final and every game is 2-1 grind with double overtime. I don't think it's possible to, like, Carolina is going to have to outscore Montreal. Like, yes, they'll control the puck, and yes, that's going to be a tough defensive system to crack. There will be higher scoring games than 2-1. I think it'll be forced out of Carolina, and Carolina's capable of it. Thank you, Quackablanibus, and Doyle, and Brutus. Brutus! There's a song by the Hives that, shoot, what is it called? Something Brutus. Either way, I like it. Trade up for Chase Reed. Offer sheet unknown. Bruins fan Adam Fantilli. Create chaos. Yes, I'm in. I say this a lot, but that Meth Bear jersey is so beautiful. We should make it the third. I'd be down with that. I'd absolutely be down with it. I did turn the lights off. There's a light that shines right at me, and it's mostly gets in my left eye, and I'm going blind in that eye. I'm waiting on new glasses to come in. I have a really severe astigmatism in this eye, like to the point where I went to the eye doctor, and he was like, "That can't get any worse. So that's the good news. Your prescription's not going to change much." Thanks, dude. Uh, so my left eye gets very fatigued through the day because I haven't been wearing glasses, and I because I recently went to the doctor and I had to order them. I'm very stubborn about my health in a very negative way, like a man. Trust my wife, Am. What's up? What's up? If my wedding isn't a Guinness wedding, I don't want it. Amen. Amen. It's funny. I drank a ton during my wedding. I drove home sober. I was sweating like a monster, bouncing around, having a great time. The coolest thing, we did our wedding right. We did. And I know it's tough. And there was one real fault with the wedding, which was the gnats were so bad during the ceremony. People are like fanning themselves to get the bugs off of them. And that was a bummer. But the ceremony was beautiful and it was great. It was an outdoor wedding. It was early spring, or it was not early spring, but it was spring in Charleston. But after that, we had our honeymoon table, right? I think that's what they call it, where it's just the two of you and you're looking out at everybody. Our wedding planner was perfect. She had every detail down to a T. When we went, you know how after the ceremony you go for pictures? She had someone follow us with our favorite drinks the entire time we're doing pictures. And she kept making sure that if we wanted any food or anything, she would go get it for us while we're doing the pictures, right? So we're not starving. When we get back and we all sit down, right, for the actual dinner portion, she was like, "I'm making your plates. Don't move." And she came back with exactly what we wanted on the plates. And she said, "Eat. We're holding off people coming up and saying congratulations until you're done eating, and then people will be welcome." Like, she had it all planned out perfectly. We got to eat during our wedding, and it was great. We got to see everybody one-on-one at some portion of it. And then we just treated it like it was a friggin' party. And we weren't like obsessed staying side by side with each other because we wanted to go, like, we danced. I made sure that she was never on the dance floor alone, that obviously, but it was just treated like an absolute party. And it was perfect. And I was sweating like a monster. A lot of coworkers there. And a lot of the coworkers were like, "We have never seen you cut loose like this." Which is funny because on the internet, there's a bunch of like skits of me with my pants down and all sorts of stuff. And I started to realize that a lot of my coworkers don't know who I actually am as a human being, which is probably the way it should be. Low visibility Bruins fan. That's right, Stealthy Potato. Hello, by the way. Hope you're having a great night. Do you think the Bruins would bring back the brown and the jerseys in the future? Probably. There's going to be new jerseys every couple of years. There's too much of a money grab in it. Too much of a money grab. Do you think the Sabres play UPL or Lion for Game 4? Lion. God, Lion. Has to be Lion, right? Left eye astigmatism twins. Yeah, Doyle. We're apparently getting City Connect jersey next year, and ours is apparently brown. Interesting. Didn't know that. I have not kept up with the jersey scene in the same way because when you can't afford it, you have to take yourself out of those. Like, I'm part of the Discord. Haven't looked at the Discord in a while. The Reddit page. eBay, I can't do it because I'll buy, and I don't have the money to buy. Hometown Remix is essentially reverse Retro 3. There's just too much money in it. It's a money grab. And I'm their target audience, and I'll buy them anyway. I want a Miles Wood Castle like Jeannot fourth line, crazy speed and physicality. Yeah. And is this Jack Edwards in the chat? The Miles Wood train is back. The second Jack Edwards retired, the Miles Wood train died down. We're back, baby. Southern Potato, how have you been? You been doing well? Are you willing to put that in the chat? Feel like UPL just for a fresh goalie who hasn't played in 2 weeks. But is UPL better than Lion? Lion's been the better goalie this year, and certainly better goalie of the playoffs, right? UPL, it really helped the Bruins stay in that series for a second there, you know? I didn't think he was having a stellar series through 2 games. Tomorrow I have to wake up early and go into my place of work and bring like 60 bagels. Gotta bring bagels for everybody. My job is very abstract because I'm in the marketing side of things. So people see me kind of like wafting around. Once a week, I'm actually in the place of work, and the rest of the week, I'm out. We're doing events, we're doing visits, we're with the community more. But so whenever I am actually there, people are like, "You bring us anything?" And so often I don't. Right, my budget's not unlimited, but tomorrow I have to bring in some bagels and stuff, make everyone a little happy. Your name is Jack, but not Edwards. That's hilarious. Any ideas on players Cam and Donnie would add for the speed and skill stereotype they were talking about? I haven't done enough deep dive into the depth players in free agency. My plan is this: over the next couple of weeks, I want to do a top free agents video, which is going to be sad. Frankly, it's going to be sad because it's just not going to be that impressive. I want to do a trade target for every franchise, meaning the Bruins trade with 31 other teams and who they would be looking at the most. And then I want to do a draft prep where I won't go over the top 15 guys in the draft. I'll go over the 10 guys that are closer to 22nd, 23rd overall. Yeah. All if I was a Sabres fan. Oh, trust. You wouldn't be able to trust Lion at all if I was a Sabres fan. I mean, I see it. It's just been a great year for him. All right, game's back on. When you let one in from center ice, hard to let you back in the rest of the series, truly. But I really think he wasn't good before that. That's just an awful goal. My job is marketing for an animal hospital, basically. When I say marketing, I make sure that the general practices around us that refer patients to us are satisfied with what we do. They're getting good feedback from clients. They're getting good feedback, or they're seeing good medical cases come back to them. We're solving problems, and the communication is really high, right? Because they have options of where to refer out patients when it comes to specialty care. So my focus is to make sure that we do our very best. I mean, specialty care in the veterinary field is expensive, just like it is for human care. And you get all these accusations about just being in it for the money and everything. But the unfortunate truth is to keep the hospital open, we have to charge what we charge. We make less than 5 cents profit on every dollar. It's a very low rate of return, but people think that everyone's getting rich in the building. It's just not true. Um, so it's a hard thing to battle with because you'll certainly have community members come up to you and think that pets are being put down because you guys won't accept not getting a paycheck out of it. It's just not true. Everybody in our building gives a shit. They really care about these animals, and it's hard to fill a building of 160 people with everyone who cares, and we work very hard at that. I'm going on a rant about my job. I shouldn't be doing that. Disco Nabisco. There we go. Disco Nabisco. I just want to thank you for the Bruins series playoff breakdowns. It's fun to watch. Have a great Monday night. You have a great Monday night as well. Hope you have a great week. Oh, stealthy potato. Drank a beer and ate some cheese? What kind of cheese? Did you have honey with it? I discovered, and by discovered, I mean I was informed, that honey on cheese slaps. It's so good. I feel Lion got the Swayman treatment in the last 2 games. Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Love the trade target with every team. I've been dying for one since the last one you made a couple of years ago. There's been so many fun videos that I feel like I just haven't been able to do. Time and I mean it's really time. It's really time. If I could run the Sean and Doug show never got great traction by viewership, but I think it rocks. I enjoy making it. I have fun writing it. And so I want to get back to doing it. I would need to do the channel full time to be able to do everything I want to do with that. Particularly that series because it takes so much time and effort to do that. But I like it. And that's what the channel was, right? It started as it felt like less of a responsibility and more of I'm doing it because I love it. Eventually you do this long enough do anything long enough in a public eye, it becomes more of a responsibility. I mean, that's so much space to give him on the entrance, and that's possession for Colorado. Oh, I thought they were gonna save it on the blue line. Smoked Gouda. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. My mom owns a vet hospital. That's awesome. There's less and less of these privately owned hospitals, and I think they do the best job oftentimes. This is crazy. Oh my god. I don't know who that is. 15 for the Avalanche. I can't think of who that is right in a second, but him not knowing that Blackwood's back in the net and just stacking the pads in front to block the shot. That's what you're looking for. Beautiful. Oh, the Wild are pushing. Wow, what a sequence. If we didn't trust a goalie who let in a goal from the red line, Swayman would be our goalie. Yeah, you were right. You're right. Swayman was so good in that series, man. It was so every year in the playoffs, Swayman seems to turn it on. I may be a Lion hater, but I played goalie for a long time, and he doesn't seem like an NHL caliber guy. I get that, but if you look at his season work, like this year in particular, he has been really good for that team. He has been really good. Did you do this since like 4 years? I'm a sub, 1,000 subs. I don't think I've done it in I mean, it's been years since I've done that. Oh, you thought I was a nurse? Oh, I worked in the hospital in a relations capacity, like front desk, helping run that side of things. And then this opportunity arose, and obviously, like after a few years, you want to change. So, yes, I understand why you thought I was a nurse for a while, but I don't actually have any of the medical training. I know more. I know enough now to be a little dangerous, but no, I rely on the medical team for that. Honey on cheese is great. It is. Mango habanero jelly with cheese is incredible. I love mango habanero. Where do you get mango habanero jelly? Holy shit. Guys, this is a huge development. Fuck the hockey game. Cheese and mango habanero. Okay. All right. Shame the fleet croaked. It sucks, man. It's just Boston's in a quagmire of playoff results right now. Why am a psychopath and I love it? I mean, you gotta be crazy to be a goalie. Me being a doctor would be a bad thing. I have no idea who wins this game. Like, this is intense as hell. I would make a very cute nurse for what it's worth. Well, just gets right in front like that. Is Peak playing for the Wild? The Fleet getting eliminated made me so sad, especially that game 3 goal Frankel let in. I mean, Frankel, what a season she had, though. What a season. All right, best goaltender in the world. That's another thing. It really sucks about because I don't want this to be a sob story. It's not a sob story. I am very, very blessed to even be able to do this. The game reviews, that's just a lot, you know, and I'm very, very blessed to have the support around me to give me the time to do it, right? But I have no time to watch the PWHL. And frankly, I don't want to. The amount of time I put into like the Bruins and just catching other games when I can in the NHL to keep informed, I don't want to spend more time watching a different league of hockey. And I know that sounds rude. I genuinely want to get more involved on that side of things, but what a save! What a save by Blackwood. But at a certain point, you run out of capacity, and there's people in your life who certainly deserve that time. Uh, yes, I would wear the nurse outfit from Blink 182. I mean, it looks like leather. But it would be about 14 inches shorter and more cleavage. It's the way to do it. The problem is they made sexy nurse out to be like she's not professional because she's hot. Be both, right? What's wrong with that? Like if they made male nurse outfits, and I understand that this is all actually due to health concerns and whatnot. But men, it should just be, a banana hammock. You go do your job. Be hot and professional. What's wrong with that? People don't understand the sexualization of everything actually ruins it for everybody who just wants to be sexy. Because now no one takes you seriously. Ridiculous. I've got all this figured out. I could fix the world, snap my fingers. Easy peasy. First, we have to murder a lot of people, though. And it's billionaires. Probably shouldn't say that on the internet, but hey, they'll be coming for me anyway. Oh, I thought he had that! Bro, don't mention peak. You're going to give him PTSD. Just get surgical with these mock trades. That's enough. Hell yeah. I can't wait for the next short shift because I'm hoping people sent in a bunch of mock trades. I'm really hoping. Sidebar, but it's kind of odd we haven't seen a ruling from the PDUS. You put this. Yeah, his hearing was today. Typically takes a day or two. That's the answer I was hoping for. You know it. Come on. I really want to. I am going to get back in the gym because I love when I'm super comfortable in my body and I feel kind of hot. You got to put the work in, though. And I haven't put the work in. And it's summer, too. It's fine. That used to be a much unhealthier conversation for your boy. He struggled with some stuff back in the day. I have a long history of struggling with stuff, though. Let's be honest. The Todd has entered the chat. Oh! I thought he had that. It can do two things. Why shouldn't it? The banana gurney. That. Hold on. Is there a business opportunity here? Oh, did he get 8 games? Have a great night, Stealthy Potato. You rock. Where can I send the mock trades in for the pod? I've been on Puckpedia all day, every day for a week, just cooking. Nathan, that's what I like to hear. Give me a second. The chirp line is what I think we were looking for, but if you have multiple, maybe I can get a link here. Oh, are you in the short shift Discord, Nathan? There's a short shift Discord that I bet you could just send all of them in. But either way, there's a chirp line that I'm about to post in the chat that you could call in and give like your best. Give your best 1 or 2. There you go. I kind of want to send a voicemail with a trade so insane Thomas just says no. Do it, please, God. Breaking Thomas's brain is half the fun. Because obviously I'm an unhinged piece of shit, and Andrew's a moron. I love these guys, obviously. And I really love that. This is a side that I don't think you guys see. Like, obviously, Andrew gets picked on the Short Shift podcast a lot. He really does. And he's a really, really good sport about it because, I mean, that's just how he is. But no, you don't have to download it, Nathan. If it's not something that, I mean, you're more than welcome to, obviously. It's a nice community in there. And I mean, there's obviously my Discord as well, but either one, do your thing. But so Andrew's really, really great sport about all this stuff. We make sure he's okay privately as well. Like, this isn't something where we're just ragging on him and we never check in on the guy. I've sent him texts before because I've been like, hey, you're good, right? Like, we love you. We're joking around. And he's doing well. Because no matter how much a guy has fun with it, like, you got to make sure your boys are okay. You got to make sure. Because it just takes one bad day, and all of a sudden these jokes are taken a little too seriously, you know? I've been listening to Short Shift every week for at least 1 year now, and I haven't sent a voicemail. I love the long-time listener, first-time callers. Oh my gosh, they're buzzing right now. That's an interesting choice. Oh, they get it anyway, though. This is what I'm talking. The awareness and speed. Oh, What a freaking pass! Deadline acquisition, Nick Waugh, by the way. Deadline acquisition. Oh, he's pissed. Oh, look at the grimace. That's huge. That's what you need from your third line. Third line? I think this is their third line. He hasn't been getting muted enough. I love that bit too. Did he fan on that or did it get blocked back out to him? Great save here. Shot, deflects. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't fan on it. Oh, he's talking about the defenseman fan. I get it. Spurgeon just punches it back to him. That's huge. I don't know if Minnesota gets another one. This is, I mean, they're capable. I shouldn't say that, but the Avalanche just will smother you after a play like this. This is tough. You're down a goal, 13 minutes left in the third period. You lose this game, the odds of you coming back in this series against, quite frankly, a largely considered best team in the league, Colorado Avalanche, it's you got to have this game. You got to have this game. You gotta. What a heads up play to make that pass, too. And look at Colton. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. Away from the puck, he's not standing there puck watching. He pushes himself into a passing lane, stays open, boom. Leafs legend. Oh my gosh. Filthy, messy, awful. The Wild just spoiled one of their own chances. You can't afford these shifts with like you ruined your own entry. Quinn Hughes is so good. Yeah, Tiffany. I agree. They've got to hit a different gear than they've been in. Because the shots might have gotten a little closer, but it's not like we're forgetting who's owned the puck for most of this game. Irony is whenever they reference a team coming back from down 3-0, the first team mentioned is the Leafs. The team coming back down 3-0. Oh, because they blew the... I get it. You don't mean games. You mean... Did the Leafs lose a series where they led 3-0? They blew a 3-1 lead over Montreal, right? I know Boston blew a series up 3-0 and a 3-goal lead in Game 7. R.I.P. David Krejci. He's not dead. He just died for that one series. See, this is where the building, like they're mentioning on the broadcast right now, the building was loud, now it's not. This is when you start chant. All right, you've recovered. That goal went in. It's been a couple of minutes. Okay. Push some juice into your boys. Yeah, without Eriksson Ek, they don't have Chief. I'm with you. Without Eriksson Ek, they cannot. They can't really match the center depth of the Avalanche. I get stuck reading two comments at once sometimes. I just break my brain. 3-0 lead in the series. First team to come back is the 42 Leafs. I guess typically when I'm listening to broadcasts, they mention the 2010 Bruins first. $1942. Tough year. Minnesota got this. Trust. You heard it here first, folks. Doyle has predicted a Wild win. We're locked in. Here we go, Wild. You made a fan out of me. Dwemeron! Oh, I thought he was there. Blackwood gets across. Ah! Doyle! What a pass by Hughes. What a shot by Doyle. Oh, Doyle rules. Woo! Holy. Scar. What a perfect feed. Doyle, get in the chat. What do you got to say for yourself? The 2014 Kings did it, huh? I forgot about that somehow. I mean, you told me. I'm not. What can I say? I'm glad I agreed with you immediately. I'm glad I folded on my thoughts and just went like, you know what? You heard it. This guy, great job, Doyle Alexander. Just a beauty of a call there. Uh, wow. Oh, Hughes has been so impressive. Uh-oh. 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 Big save there. Please go to OT. Please go to OT. I haven't had a playoff game go to overtime and be lengthy that we were live streaming during. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Uh-oh. All right, can't be a goal anyway. He's got to get out of the net before kept in. Back to the center. No. God, the way Colorado just turns it on, though. Wow. What do you think about Minnesota Buffalo Cup final? That would slap. That would be so good. I would love that. If Hughes is the free agent, the Bruins need to give him the load. Not a free agent, unfortunately. Wait, hold on. Am I a big dumb idiot boy? Hold on. We might be a big dumb idiot boy. Hold on. Oh, 2 years. That's right. They'll extend him. They have to, right? You don't trade everything for that to let him walk in 2 years. And if he does walk in 2 years, the thing is, he's walking to go somewhere specific, would be my guess. What's up, Tegan? How are you? How is that not goalie interference? Oh, on the goal? Did I miss something there? I don't. No, no, no. You're not referring to the goal. I don't think so. Hughes has always been, but to be fair, he was on a pretty not too stellar team before. Oh God, yes. I mean, like, just immediately when that trade happens, and I'm like, oh, Faber and Kaprizov, awesome. Boldy, yeah, yeah. It's a whole different situation for him. Well, you're crushing it. I got nothing for you. You keep doing your thing. If I was your caddy, I would shut the fuck up. I'd be like, dude, you swing whatever you're feeling. You are on fire. If I was your wingman, I'd be like, I'm staying out of the conversation. You can't stop. You can't stop hitting dents, man. Just a beauty of a prediction there. As a Dallas fan, it would crush me. As an American that would love to see the sport grow, yes. Dallas fan watching a Buffalo Minnesota final. That is, yeah, that's rude. To you specifically, that's rude. Minnesota and Carolina. I put money on this back when Quinn got to Minnesota. It's a good time to make that bet. Smart. Smart. I want Buffalo versus Minnesota or Anaheim, but I think it's going to be Colorado versus Carolina or Montreal. I have Colorado Montreal in the finals in my bracket, with Colorado coming out on top. Yeah, Faber and Hughes is just ridiculous combination there because both can play defense and offense. Like they don't need to split them up either. They have enough behind them. Like just a terrifying duo. That's what we need to find for McAvoy is somebody on his left who's like a really good player. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Slipping on the blue line. Oh no, there's recover. Puck gets out. In a perfect world where all three Hughes brothers are on a New Jersey team, I wonder if New Jersey would ever be a contender or still just flop. I think it's an argument both ways, right? You're spending everything on those three guys, especially because you already extended the youngest brother, who is Luke is really struggling. It's just when they signed that, I wish I was more vocal about this. What are you doing? You're letting Jack Hughes run the team. This is the NBA conversation we had. Player empowerment is great. I still want my GM running the team. And that feels like you're like, okay, well, to make sure our star player is happy, we're signing your brother. Fine, sign the brother. Don't sign him to an all-star level contract when he hasn't proved it yet. And maybe it works out for them in the future, but what are we doing? What are we doing? This seems weird to me. I know it's both unrealistic and spill milk at this point, but Sweeney should have moved literally any and every pick prospect to get Quinnesota. Imagine top pair of Hughes and McAvoy. Yes, but it is Parker Kelly. The bottom six is burning Minnesota. Burning them up. Yeah, a Hughes McAvoy pairing would feed every family in Boston for a decade. What package at the deadline matches? Oh my God. Great shot. Matches Marco Rossi, the defenseman who seems like he's going to be really, really good. I can't remember his name, though. Shit. I'll get there. They may not, in fact, have it. Doyle's fine. Leave Doyle alone. That was so cool that he predicted that in court immediately. But no, I don't think it was possible for the Bruins to match that Vancouver deal. Outside of giving a bunch of first-round picks that no one would have been happy doing at the moment because we didn't know what the Bruins would end up being fully. Nah, Minnesota got it. All right. All right. Booyum. Thank you. Booyum. Thank you, Jambi. Jambi, by the way, shameless plug. Once again, he has a Red Wings podcast. Worth checking out. PFH, play fucking hockey. Feel free to post something in the chat, Jambi, about it. Ooh, that looked like it hurt. Johansson took one to the hands. Last year when we played the Devils and won 7-2, Cole Koepke, don't know how to spell his last name. He's on Winnipeg now. I know exactly who you're talking about. Just sneaks right by Luke Hughes, and Lucas Roll just crashes the fuck out. Yeah, he's not been good. He really just hasn't. Uh-oh. I couldn't get control. This is a great game. This is a great hockey game. Lorai bye-bye or a 6th, 7th chance. I think Lorai bye-bye. I think he played himself out of the playoffs while we desperately need more help on the back end. I think it's an absolute tombstone that was put on his head. I think he's traded. I think he's traded, and they're excited about Brunet coming up from the AHL. And it might be wishful thinking. I don't know. I can't tell where I land on Lorai. I want him to be great. I said PFH this time. I said it right this time. Play fucking hockey. I said it right. The last video I said PFF. I got Discord back. Let's fucking go. Nathan, you jump into either the short shift Discord or the here, I don't. It should be all on the link tree for short shift. And you tag Andrew and you'll yell trades at him. I don't know. You just Thank you, Jobby. I'm trying here, brother. Jobby's been just, a stellar supporter of the local channel for years and has become a close friend at this point. Got invited to my wedding. Now, of course, he already had like a vacation or something planned right before that. So he couldn't fly in for it, which is pretty respectful, honestly. Uh-oh! 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 You're just chipping it at the net now. I don't think you take Wallstead out for the next game. I think he's been very much good enough to stay in the net. Pro Football Focus. They just change owners. Laurie half the time is a liability, but whenever he has good flashes, he always does something completely stupid afterward. There's no consistency. There really isn't consistency. He did have a great stretch of play when he moved to the right side, but the problem is his slow foot speed in the playoffs became such a detriment, and he started to freeze with the puck. that like it was just you couldn't play him. You just couldn't play him. I would also still rather have Lorai over Peak. I agree with that. Not the Lorai that froze with the puck, but you can talk to him about that. Peak has to go. You just can't re-sign Peak. You can't do it. Sturm really liked Peak. You know how hard it was for Yoki Haru to get in the lineup, who by all accounts was fine-ish. Not like Peak was. Like Peak was a disaster for so much of it. And Yoki Haru still couldn't get games. They really didn't like Yogi Haru though, and they just really like Peak. Glad Minnesota's PWHL didn't cause another pandemic. What? 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 Peak to the Shadow Realm. Absolutely. Nathan, did you have anything to put in the chat right now for your trades? I would love a little sneak peek. Johnny, I'm really excited for you next year to cover playoff games for the Red Wings. Problem is in the Atlantic, you're like, what team falls out? It's scary. Every team in the Atlantic next year thinks they have a chance at the playoffs. Every single team. Like it's a scary division. In the Pacific, you've got 9 teams. I know there's only 8 in the division that don't think they're making the playoffs this year. So it's very different. The playoff game got canceled because everyone got sick. All right. Well, we have the hentai virus now, or whatever it is, on a cruise ship from Argentina. Peak is not peak. Just need Lorai to regain his confidence. Current Lorai wouldn't look off pasta. We need the old Lorai back. We haven't seen the old Lorai since that look off, man. I get what you're saying though. The skating speed was so bad. Unless someone tells me that he had a leg injury or something, it just in the playoffs, the speed picked up and he could not hang at all. I genuinely think he played himself into a position where the front office went, "Oh, we can't play you in the postseason. You're out. You're gone." You know, and you're just hoping another team wants to take a chance on that. Tiffany, I'm so glad you said that. That's exactly, honestly, I should have brought it up. The guy blocks shots. Peak blocks shots. You know why he blocks so many shots? Is because he keeps the puck in our zone because he can't fucking clear the puck and he can't win a race to the boards. Geeky for Matthews? Yeah, I do that. Peak to Toronto. Toronto might. If we don't re-sign Peak, they need a defensive change. They might. Chuck, you don't believe? You want a blockbuster or a good old Donnie depth trade? Oh, do you have a stupid, sexy Donnie depth trade? Do you have a stupid, sexy, and off the radar trade? Hit me with it, brother. Peak for McDavid. I think the casualties in Edmonton would potentially end the city's population. So game 3 of Colorado, Minnesota had 3 days off. I see. With the Leafs getting the number 1 overall, it seems pretty likely that the Wings and Bruins are competing for 7th. First of all, rude. Rude. Secondly, does McKenna fix the issues they had this year? The first year of McKenna, does he fix that? I think that the Leafs will bounce back. I think their goaltending will be better, and defensively, they'll just have better health. But I don't think McKenna suddenly is like, oh, he's an 80-point guy in the first season. I think he'll finish somewhere between 45 and 55 points, and he'll be a good, second line, middle six guy. I just don't think he's going to blow up the league right away, Who knows? I've certainly been wrong before. O'Reilly Peak is probably a better goalie than whoever Edmonton. Well, hell, Jake, you make a great point. Peak did have a couple goal line saves for us this year, too. He kicks that leg out like a seasoned pro. 4 minutes left. No, McKenna and a healthy Matthews does. The health of Matthews is a good point. Still the little asterisk on that, though, that Matthews might be out, you know? Also, I don't think a healthy Matthews and McKenna do fix them. The defense was terrible. The goaltending was awful. Like, it was there's a lot of issues behind those guys. Uh, that being said, I do expect Toronto to bounce back, which you clearly do as well. I'm bold for this take, but Edmonton tanks next season or at least finishes middle ground or near bottom. I don't think they own their first round pick. They don't. I know that they don't. Like, we just talked about this earlier. I'd be shocked unless there's injuries to McDavid and Draisaitl. Lori for Nick Robertson, 1 for 1. I think the Leafs might. I think the Leafs are gonna push back that one. I think they still have enough faith in that. I like where your mind's at though. Ooh, Kuzi as a Robertson replacement. I kind of like that take. I love Huzadinov. I haven't been shy about that. McKenna might as well be playing hockey in the Marianas Trench with how much pressure is going to be on him. The problem is that, like, how often does a first overall pick have to save a franchise in their first year, right? Like, even Matthews' first year where he scored what? Almost did he score 60 his first year or almost like he scored 4 goals in his first game? I remember that. And they were like, "Yeah, we're rebounding. We're first overall pick for a reason." McKenna's gonna expect it to make a difference right away. That is gonna be a lot of pressure. Brandon Carlo was Brandon Carlo. Brandon Carlo was the later version of Brandon Carlo. He had great years for us. He had great years for us. He really did. I don't know what a contract year for Carlo really looks like, John B, because I think you'll agree with this. Oftentimes, contract years, we're sitting there talking about point totals, right? For defensive defensemen, contract years are really difficult to shine if you're not physical. And Carlo's not physical. Like defensively, maybe he has his best defensive season of his career, but not physical, not scoring points, contract year. You just wonder if oh, oh, that was scary. Doyle almost had his second cheer moment here. Um, but yeah, I'm curious what that looks like for sure. Trading a package to Anaheim for Zellweger and McTavish. What's the package look like? These fans think Carlo is a spy operative sent from Boston. I love those memes. I really do. Wall sets out, empty net. Oh, they keep it in. Gonna have as much pressure as Celebrini. I very much disagree. I think Celebrini came into a very relaxed situation because no one expected the Sharks to make the playoffs this rookie year. But they are expecting Toronto to make the playoffs next year. They don't have the first round pick. That fan base is expecting a real bounce back. Yeah, I think it's a different level of pressure. Even though he has Matthews and Nylander and Nyes and those guys in front of him, I still think it's a different level of pressure. Keep in mind that Matthew Schaefer had one of the best rookies by a defenseman literally ever, and the Oilers still didn't make the playoffs that they're buying at the deadline. Schaefer's one of the scariest freaking players I've ever seen as a rookie. That I mean, obviously, record-breaking year. That was concerning. Like, put the league on notice, brother. Yeah, that was scary. I was bummed too because I was like, Schaefer probably going to be a good player, but I don't even know if he should be the first overall. I did not pay enough attention because holy shit, that guy was unbelievable. Toronto Maple Leafs media is like the ex girlfriend who stalks you 24/7. As somebody who has literally dealt with a stalker before, yeah. Wow, my heart got tight just thinking about it. Yeah, very talented, Tiffany. Very talented. I think Celebrini's also going to have a much better career than McKenna. I won't say about team awards, but individual awards. It's shit. Celebrini's doing generational talent stuff. Like ridiculous. Carlo for a seventh. I mean, I would bring Carlo back for third right D. Absolutely, I would. Not even questioning that. God, was he bad his last year with the Bruins, so, but everyone was bad that year. 1:14 left. Oh, and Hartman gets kicked out of the circle. He did try to get us that top 10 pick. Oh, but they keep it in even with the lost draw. Can they get to it? Yep, yep, yep. No, it bounces out. All right, that's still a minute 04 left. Here we go. Empty net. Come on, Doyle. Where's the magic? Okay, how to play. McKenna has the opportunity to do something dumb to get jail time instead of playing for Toronto. Maybe that's a win-win. That's pretty funny, though. I still think, look, if you're Toronto, you have to take McKenna. You have to. I think Stenberg's the better player. And like if I was GM with the number 1 overall pick, I'd probably go Stenberg. But there's too much. The fan base will kill Chaikia, or however you say his freaking name, if he doesn't go with McKenna. Woo! You can't be missing the net right now, Faber. Oh, that's game. That's game. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Minnesota's in a hole now, boys and girls, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Damn. Think how fun a game 7's going to be now, though. Right? The pressure on the Avs not to choke a 3-1 lead. Damn. Doyle, thank you for giving us that moment, though. Yeah, you kept faith and you gave us a great moment. That was really funny. You posted that in my chat, and I know there's a delay from your end, so there's still like another 30, 45 seconds that pass. But I saw that message. I said what I said and looked, and boom. Like it was immediate. Minnesota is about to be the President's Trophy curse. Hell yeah, dude. What a fun series. Is that in net? No. I thought it bounced over him and in. The Avs have gotten the bounces at the net front. Tell you that much. They've been the better team in this game, but wow. I think Minnesota still has a chance. This Avs team is just so good, and they're healthy, right? Minnesota's not healthy. I love how the commentators have to pretend that it's still kind of possible. Anaheim is in cap hell. I think you can get both Zellweger and McTavish for a first rounder, second rounder, and a cost-controlled young player. I don't think you can get both those players for that cost. Cap hell still means you're competing with other. Oh, another empty netter. President's Trophy curse about to be lifted. Technically, it. I mean, statistically, these President's Trophy wins like 20% of the champions. No, so you're still competing with other teams when a team is in cap hell. Anaheim just has to make sure that they get it out there that they're willing to trade these guys. So a first rounder, second rounder, and cost controlled young player for both of them? No, I don't think you can get that. I think you could get one of them for that, though. I don't know how they value McTavish because the scratching and the there's been a lot of weird discourse over there with them. Maybe the Duckies know something we don't. Avs did well to take their foot off the gas and avoid the regular season record curse. Yeah, that hurt my feelings. Blair in Lincoln Park, yeah. I've got a McTavish and a Zellweger one too. Oh, good. Send that in. Don't tell me. Send that in. Hell yeah. Good game. Good game. Oh, I don't want to work tomorrow. It does feel bad for Minnesota. McTavish is there, Elias Lindholm. Yeah, except for he's 10 years younger and has more promise. Right. Like, that's the thing is he's 22, 23. Yeah, 23. God, he makes a lot of money. He definitely, like, you need to see improvements in a lot of areas for him, but I just have a hard time seeing them just walk away from him. God, he makes so much money. These teams, this is the past couple of years have been a real warning to, like, yeah, signing them early is a good deal sometimes, and you really get a lot of value. Sometimes it'll really bite you in the ass. Crawling in my sin. Yeah, 2022-23 Bruins team. I just wonder what would have happened if Bergeron, Krejci, Olmark, and Hampus weren't all banged up right before the playoffs. You know? I just really wonder what our first and second line centers, our Norris candidate defenseman, and our Vezina winning goaltender, if they were all healthy, what happens there? Obviously, the Panthers were no regular 8th seed. But, I mean, that year sucked. That year was awesome until it wasn't. I mean, I'm going to brag about my wife again, though, and I've said this on this channel before. Game 7 happens, go to overtime, lose, and high-quality wife was in a different room. We never really watched the games together, typically because I'm taking notes and all this stuff. But she just saw the score, knew how much it meant to me, and I walked out of that room after about 10 minutes of staring at the wall, and she had 2 shots poured, and just, I don't know, she didn't even really, she didn't force me to say anything. She just let me kind of walk over and, take a shot with her and just enjoy her presence for a minute there. And God, you just find yourself a person like that, man. Somebody who just cares, doesn't force anything out of you, just cares. Tiffany, have a great night, and thank you. I will hope to have a great day at work. It'll start in a nice note, too, because bringing bagels for everybody makes you feel like a hero. Chief with more Fuck Cancer funds. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you for joining us again and chatting with us. I appreciate you. And fuck cancer, dude. Hell yeah. Hunter, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with us. Nathan, concrete skates. Defensively, he's an absolute nightmare. McTavish is just not good in his own zone at all. And he's a cherry picking son of a bitch, too. A 23 first-round loss to the Panthers hurt more than the Game 7 to St. Louis and the Game 6 for Chicago. I'm just saying painful. Yeah, the expectation just getting so cut short, especially when you were down in that game, and then you come back to take the lead, and it just felt like everything was going to be fine. And then with 58 seconds left, a shot from above the left circle just deflects off of McAvoy's stick and top corner over the shoulder of Swayman. Every lucky bounce during that series that could have possibly gone the other way, it did. It was just a hard watch. That's when you found a channel? Damn, dude. I hope we got to wallow together, though. Honestly, that was one of my proudest moments. I had that video, and it's I think to this day, my most watched video, right? And a bunch of people in the comments ragging on us. But there's also a bunch of people in the comments who are like, just thank you for, chilling here with us. It feels good to have somebody to realistically sit and wallow in the filth with, That's how I feel, at least. The refs gave the Blues the series, totally real, not me coping. They did. So I'm with you on exactly that sentiment of coping, but they did change the way they were officiating the series 3 games in. They just completely were like, you know what? No, we're not calling anything on St. Louis the rest of the way. And I didn't really understand why the officiating changed, but it was blatant. It was deeply blatant. And then Game 7 happened, where I felt like there was no blame on the refs whatsoever for anything. I was not mad at the refs in Game 7 at all. The Bruins just flat out lost a hockey game that they should have won. That was the toughest part of that. Don't get a second chance at the last dance. It's true. That's true. Zombie, have a great night. Doyle, have a great night. Thank you for giving me my favorite moment of the night, which was your prediction right before the goal. That was so very fun. C-Libs, Thank you. You've been super active in the chat, hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Trust My White Van, thanks for hanging out. W Wife for sure. That year was really great until it was no longer really great. I did have such an awesome year that year, though. That was so fun. Why must you remind me of my single for life destiny? It's not a destiny. It's just, sometimes you're lucky into finding that person. And it is really funny. I genuinely think I have good advice for that stuff at this point, but I also know I was very lucky. So, guys, have a great night. I'm going to end it here. This is every time I'm in these live streams, it doesn't matter if there's 10 people in, it doesn't matter if there's 400 people in. I got people to talk to the whole time. You're chatting with me. It just makes it so much more enjoyable, and I really appreciate that. Joey, you have a great night as well. Hold on, I'm going to read your message real quick. Instead of the Bruins Leafs first round, it's Bruins Leafs Cup final. That would be, I mean, obviously something would have to change system-wise to allow that, but that would be terrifying, especially if it's the next time they meet in the playoffs, right? After all those Game 7 losses, like all the heartbreaks for the Leafs, and then we finally meet them I'd be like, oh no, all the karma is going to come back right now. I'd be terrified. But you can't, any fan base that goes into the Stanley Cup Finals, you're terrified, right? You don't care how much of an underdog, overdog you are. Like, this is it. This is the big moment. Montreal against Tampa in the bubble. Obviously, Montreal doesn't belong there, right? The only reason they're there is they got hot at the right time, and like a lot of weird stuff happened to help them get there. And I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just saying, like, in a regular season, it's very unlikely Montreal's in that situation. And Tampa just runs them over. But Montreal fans are still sitting there like, holy shit, we're here, right? Like, this is huge. You just can't, you can't go into that series with anything but dread. Ladies love me the way the NHL loves Atlanta. Have a great night, brother. And be meaner on your voicemails. Joey, have a great night. All right, guys, I'm ending it here. Thank you so much for making this so very entertaining. I appreciate you all. And as always, go